And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is day number 4 of the Grand Chess Steel Rapid and Blitz. This is the Blitz section. And today I am joined by the handsome, the talented, and amazing and everything, Mr. Simon Williams. Simon.
What an introduction.
What introduction, right? It's the first time.
I will pay you later for that introduction. Extremely kind of you at this time in the morning to give me such a lovely introduction. So thank you, Bick. It's always a pleasure. I say always. It's a little bit early, exactly. But it's nearly always a pleasure. It is a pleasure.
Most of the time. Last time we streamed, ladies and gentlemen, it was with Twitch Rivals, where we used our brains together to make some stuff happen. It was a lot of fun as well. And I still remember that. You still remember that event, Simon? Where we?
I do. My memory's not that short.
Well, we had a top clip as well. Do you remember that one?
We do. Yeah, we did all right. We won some prize money. Didn't we?
Yeah, we did all right. You know? I remember the clip very well. That it was against Komodo level 5, and you queened, and then your mouse flipped your queen away, and we had to start all over again. That was the roughest one of the tournament, but we did make it to level 17.
We did. We did very well.
Yeah, I've got to give you all the credit. That was
no man.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
It was you as well. You as well.
That's true.
It was very good. So yeah, we're it's actually, what time is it over in Holland? It's 8:30 here.
Yes.
So it's quite early. But I mean, we've got a great event to commentate on, so I'm looking forward to it a lot. And you've been doing it every day, Big.
I've been doing it every day, absolutely. Yeah, it's. I was Friday. I had Roland by my side. On Saturday, I had Amon by my side. Sunday, I was soloing it, and today we have each other. So it's really good. It's really nice. The games haven't started yet. At least the relays aren't pushed through. So I'm gonna. Check that real quick. Simon, could you tell us a little bit about the event that you had this weekend?
I can. So yeah, I mean, just on the Saturday night, well, Friday and the Saturday night, I run sort of my own company called Ginger GM, which some of you may or may not be aware of, and we try to have this event like once or I think once every 2 years is enough, because it takes a couple of years to recover. And I think the first thing that Big said to me today is, Simon, you look like a zombie, you know. So I have got coffee. I am waking up. So we had this event it started on the Friday night, but it was mainly the Saturday night. And it's in the centre of London. We had about 80 people who turned up for it. And yeah, 80 people. It was actually in a crypt. So it was in a crypt below a church, and it was a chess tournament in fancy dress with, I have to say, quite a lot of drinking and partying. It started about 10:30 in the morning and went on to about midnight. So it was a very long day, and then the party continued afterwards for some. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was just a fun event where you try to play a bit of chess, you have a bit of fun, lots of interesting characters. I think Fiona probably has some pictures up on her Facebook page. I haven't got around to putting any up yet because I've basically been asleep since I got back from London. Because I had to pack up as well on the Sunday morning, the event. So I had about I don't know 6 hours sleep over 3 nights or something. But I'm here now, so it's all good. Right. So it's fun, man. It would have been great. It would have been even better if you were there, Bick. But you know, we can't have everything in life.
I wanted it. I really wanted it. Absolutely. But unfortunately, they strict me here as well. So, but next year is definitely one that I want to have going. So I believe. What's up, Wind? Wind, are we late? Like, did they start an hour ago? Because I was going through the Chess TV schedule, and we were supposed to be on 9:30, which is my time right now. But if the game's already started, then I need to update some.
It's always interesting, isn't it, when we start the commentary? I mean,
just a little bit late.
Yeah, just sometimes there is a little bit of a delay, but it's going to be an exciting day. I mean, we're doing this for about the next 4 hours anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the Blitz section now, so it's only today and tomorrow. Where they have this Blitz section, and I think the Blitz section is even probably the most exciting section of all. It's quick, it's fast. You've got all these players, and Magnus Carlsen has been a bit of a legend as always is at the moment. So he you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how he does today, if he can run away with it again. And you know, very much looking forward to seeing how the games are going to go. But he's been kind of dominating so far, hasn't he, Magnus Carlsen? I think.
Yeah, he's been playing like out of his mind as always. He's playing a very interesting game, very strong. He was, I think, out of the 9 rounds, he was like 7.5. It's crazy as always.
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
So the games aren't being pushed through at the moment. Let's see if I can
sure
fix it.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you do the technical stuff, and I'll just talk a load of rubbish and drink coffee.
Oh, that's that's the dream, Simon.
This is what I'm very good at. I'm very good at talking rubbish and drinking coffee in the morning and probably beer in the evening. So these are my specialities. So yeah, so we're just going to get the games up. It sometimes takes a while for them to load, which I'll let Vic try to work on that at the moment. But it's obviously going to be very exciting. I mean, I expect Magnus to do very well, let's say win it again with his form. I mean, when Magnus is in form, he's just unstoppable at the moment. I actually don't know anyone in the history of chess who could probably get in the way of Magnus at Magnus's top level. That's quite an interesting question for the chat. I mean, do you think Magnus is the strongest player of all time in the chat already at his young age? He's actually going to it's his birthday next Saturday. And yeah, I mean, he's incredibly strong, but is he stronger than Fischer, Kasparov? He's still young. Remember, he's got another good amount of time inside him to improve. But I'd like to know your feelings there. My feelings are that Magnus already is just the way he plays chess. Is probably stronger than anyone else who's ever played. I mean, you know, already some of these guys, like Kasparov, they're amazing players, but it's just something about Magnus. He's got a natural flair for the game. Okay, well,
absolutely.
We are having a little bit of an update.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, chat, I'll be back in a minute or 3. I'm going to set things up. We need to, the relays aren't pushed through. If we go to events, there are no games there. So I'll be back in a bit. We're going to fix this up. I'll be back in a few minutes with round number 1 of the Blitz day.
Do you want me to stay on for a bit?
Yeah, or we can stay on. Well, we'll go to the slideshow real quick so I can move stuff around. See you guys in a bit. Cool. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We had some technical issues, unfortunately. The games weren't being pushed in live chess itself, so we didn't have any games, which makes it hard to commentate. Round 2 is starting in a second, so we're going to see at 10, so in 9 minutes, if the games are being pushed. If not, we're going to go out for, again, like a minute, and then I'm going to change everything real quick. I'm going to go to the chess events tab. I'm gonna go do it there. I have to fill a little bit, and then we are good to go. So let's update the scores. The scores, for those who wonder: Harry Krishna won against Levon Aronian. Vishwant Anand lost against Nepomniachtchi. Ding and Wesley So drew. Vidit lost against Magnus Carlsen. Magnus wins. I mean, is it a surprise still? And Anish and Hikaru drew very shortly. So they went through really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that Magnus is back to his winning ways again. We got a long day of Blitz today, so it's very exciting. It's only round 1, and it's the Blitz section today and tomorrow. Exactly. The time limit is 5 minutes plus 3 seconds a move, so it's quick. Blitz normally is 3 minutes plus 2 seconds a move, so it's slightly slower than maybe what they do at some of the other events. And we've got 9 rounds today. We've only had 1 round. Obviously, it's going to get very exciting as the day goes on. And, the technical stuff will catch up, won't it, Bick? I'm relying on this. This guy's a legend. He can do everything. He's
Best
perfect.
In the biz, Chet. Best in the biz. Don't worry about it.
There you go. So it will all come together. And obviously, if the moves are not being shown, it's quite hard for us to find them. But fingers crossed, when the next round starts, it will be all cool.
Exactly. Else we're gonna wing it, Chet. We're just gonna go do a little bit different, but we'll be out again for actually we can do it right there, so we won't be out. And yes. I mean, I have a legendary commentator next to me. He's been through a lot worse, I can tell you. Can you tell me a story about a tournament that you attended where technical it just went out the window and you were like, how are we gonna fix this?
I think I'll be honest, I mean, I've commentated at quite a lot of tournaments, and I think at every single tournament I've been at, some technical problem has happened. It's really weird, even though we always have often have the best producers, and they know what they're doing. You know, the internet can go down. Actually, the funniest bit, I have to say, was I was commentating at Gibraltar. Which is one of the biggest open tournaments in the world. And we had a small room at the venue where we commentate, and it was me, and I believe it was Jovanka Huska, another English player who commentates in Singfield occasionally as well, professional. And we had our producing crew in there. And there was a very small area where people can watch the games. The games start at 2:30 in the afternoon. And we'd been live for about half an hour, so it's about 3 o'clock. Our audience numbers had grown somewhat, so we probably had I don't know, 5,000 people watching, let's say. It was quite an important round. It was good. Maybe more were coming in, and the door opens to the commentary room, and this guy stumbles in, and this is a live show.
I think I saw that. I actually think I saw it. Yeah. That was last year, right?
I don't even know. It might have been last year or the year before even. But
your commentator, you named that. She also had like ginger curly hair, right?
She's also ginger. So we had the
Okay, so I saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it happened both years, but they need to get a bouncer now, literally on the door. But this guy stumbled in, obviously completely drunk. And he's like, Jovanka, I've got your book on the carrot card, sign it. I've got it. I want you to sign my book. And we're in a live show. And he comes up to the desk and he tries to get his book in. Sign this book. And we're like, what the hell's going on, man? This guy's completely wasted. We're doing a live show and this guy's got his hand over the screen trying to give Jovanka her chess book to sign. We're like, well, excuse me, we're trying to be professional. Well, maybe you should just wait until. And he's going, oh, come on, just get the book signed. And it's like, we're live, man, we're live. And the hotel actually had some security on premises.
Yeah.
And the security had to come along and get rid of this guy, during the live stream. So that was quite amusing. Anyway, I think
quite amusing. Yeah, I would say that. So it all worked out in the end. There was no.
It was all okay. I don't think he got his book signed though.
Oh, the man! I mean, he did try his best. We got to give him credit for trying.
Yes, he tried his best. He was very insistent. Like I said, he's even trying to get around the side, but I don't think he just didn't realise there was a live show going on, even though it was quite clear all these cameras pointing at us. And he was, I don't know, he was very drunk for 2:30 in the day or whatever it was. It wasn't 2:30 in the morning; it was 2:30 in the day. So it was very peculiar.
Well, I've been sitting at Tata Steel as well, and sometimes you get the occasional people who, who just want to take a peek and then they go out again, like the peekers. You always have the peekers. Yeah. And you always have people who think it's the bathroom, so they walk in and they're like, oh, with their pants hanging like around their knees already, waiting for a good one. But I've never had someone intentionally disrupting the broadcast, knowing it as well. For there's stuff going on, but my autograph is more important.
That was a bit odd. It's a bit odd, but yeah, I mean, stuff always happens, which is quite weird in commentary. You just got to kind of roll with it. I don't know. I was just thinking, what's the weirdest thing I've ever seen happen at a big chess tournament as well?
I think throughout the day we'll get some more. We'll get some more stuff going.
Yes, indeed. So good. So the second round is due to start any second. Is that right, Vic?
Yes, we're starting in 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, brilliant.
Good.
And who's playing in the second round?
So these are you're gonna like this one. We have Krishna against Nakamura, so that's always good. We have Carlsen against Geary. That's always
that's a good one. Carlsen versus Geary.
That's always a good one to see. We have Ding Liren versus Vidit, Nepomniachtchi versus Wesley, and Levan Arodian against Anand. I'm going to show the standings real quick for everyone. I'd have to bounce through this real quick. Let's put this one on. I'm going to keep talking though. Don't worry about it, chat. Simon and I are still with you. We could never leave you. We could never leave you guys.
You can leave me, man. It's okay. I don't mind.
Leave me now. So
just don't sing. Just don't sing. You can leave me. Just don't sing, please. It's okay to leave me. Just no singing. Okay.
Okay. I'll take it under consideration.
Okay.
So we have the standings at the moment. 15 points Magnus took out of 18, which is just absolutely bonkers. 7.5 out of 9. And he started off with a win as well. Magnus won, Hare Krishna won, and Nepomniachtchi won. And those are the scores we have now. We have Magnus in a very commanding lead, 4.5 points. And do you think it's going to extend from here, or he's going to drop down just a little bit?
I can. When Magnus is on good form, no one can stop him. So if he continues his form, which I don't see why he shouldn't, I think his lead will continue to rise. I mean, the thing with Hikaru is, we all know Hikaru is a real fighter. And, when he does well, he's a very emotional player, I think, Hikaru. So when things are going well for him, as they are here, it's a phenomenal score he's on as well, then he can really, he can still keep in touch with Magnus. Maybe he can still catch him if something goes wrong. So, interesting. Yeah.
So and ticking away a little bit.
Sure. The game I'd like to see really is the one you got is Magnus versus Geary, because these guys are they're very entertaining on Twitter, aren't they? And things.
I often describe Geary, like the first time I meet them, he asked me if I was Robin's boyfriend. That was his first line to me. So he's a little bit, he's a little bit of a joker. He likes to.
That's the first thing he said to you, Geary.
The first thing ever, because it was at the Tata Steel event.
And he didn't say hello. He just said, "Are you Robin van Kampen's boyfriend?"
Yeah, that's the first thing he said to me. He's like, "Hey, Robin." He even didn't say it to me. He was like, "Hey, Robin, is this your boyfriend?"
Oh, wow.
I was standing next to him.
so where did that come from?
I don't know, maybe.
So I hope you gave Robin a big kiss on the lips as soon as he said.
I did give him a little cheeky kiss on the cheek. A little pinch in the butt, something like that.
He's very, we say in England, cheeky. I don't know if that's an expression in America or in Holland so much, but cheeky means a bit naughty humour, I guess. A bit naughty, fun way, fun way, So
let's wait for a minute. Let's hope they get picked up this time. So
Definitely.
we don't have to change anything.
Sure.
Let's wait for a minute, or else I'm gonna go to the live chess here, to the events.
Sure.
And then we're gonna try to do it from there. So don't worry, chat. We will make this.
Oh, we're off now.
Oh, it works! Yes!
Good
Finally,
stuff.
we can go on these things. But not this game. We're gonna go to this game. We started with Cecilia. This is the Candle Defense, in my experience. Is this something Carlsen plays a lot?
Yeah, I mean, Carlsen kind of plays everything, doesn't he? I haven't seen him play many open Sicilians. So he prefers to keep, a little bit out of the main line when he does theory in general, especially in Blitz. And pretty normal position this, though, where black is very solid, but white has a little bit more space because of the pawn on e4. And now Magnus going to develop his bishop in a very sensible way. I think he has a pretty good score against Giri, doesn't he, Magnus? Is that right? He's,
Well, actually, Magnus was one of the few players that had a plus score against him the first time they got introduced to each other. At Tata still even beat him. They got shared plays, and he got this little plus against him. So every time you see Giri and Carlsen in the same place, Giri had this little smug on his face, like, I can take the world champion on. So Carlsen just took a sniff, the good old let's get him, and he has a pretty substantial. I would say.
I know it's quite dangerous winding up Magnus Carlsen, isn't it? It could backfire.
You would have thought.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting move just played by Giri. He's trying to strike out with this d5 move to avoid a bit of a cramped, what we call Maroczy bind kind of position. Yes. I mean, Magnus. This is the kind of position I think Magnus really enjoys playing, where he's got a little bit extra space. It's very nice and easy to play, but d5 is a way to complicate things. This last move. And there's a lot of ways white can play in this position. I'd be tempted to push that pawn onto the dark square, which I think he has done.
Yeah.
And now the knight's jumped into the middle. So I wonder if this is theory. You kind of, by looking at the times, I mean, Giri's very well prepared. You might think that Giri has sort of prepared this already.
Yeah, especially if you consider they don't play with increment, they play with delay. It's a 5 minute game per 3 seconds. So Giri hasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Chet, but that means Giri hasn't thought at all. He just moved whenever the pieces were on the board, which was incredible. We have Charlie Chess Cat in the chat. Welcome. We have Cheats with Greed King is here.
Hello, Charlie.
A little bit of a... Did you bring your cat with you to London?
Charlie didn't come to London with me. He does like crypts, but he doesn't like lots of people so much. So we didn't have him in London, but he was looking after you in the chat, I believe.
Yeah, he was being a very thoughtful cat. Absolutely. Banning all the.
I can't believe that Charlie the Chess Cat is actually is Charlie subbed to Chess.com? I don't think I'm even a sub to Chess.com.
Charlie
is really bad.
And he's a mod.
He's a mod.
Yeah,
and I'm not subbed or a mod. This is bad. But I'm here, so it's okay.
It hurt, yeah, exactly.
All good. So I'll look. Charlie just walked in looking very smug.
Yeah.
And his cat walked in, I am a mod, and he's just walked out again. So yeah, just so
Charlie knows. Okay.
Charlie knows. Okay. Well,
looking at this game real quick, I do see Giri has an isolated pawn on d5. I think it's going to be a liability.
Yes, this pawn is a little bit weak, and I prefer Magnus's position slightly, but black is very solid. Now, Magnus is obviously trying to concentrate on that pawn by doubling rooks on the d file, if you guys can see that. And this is the pawn that Bick mentioned is a real weakness. And okay, Giri playing very actively by moving the queen into the middle. It doesn't seem that bad for Giri, but with Magnus,
exactly.
Anything can happen. But I prefer white slightly, but no real problems for Giri at the moment either.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through the games that we have open as well to see if there's something fun going on. This is Nepomniachtchi against Wesley So with a very... We're not gonna go back through the game because they're just going so fast. We're gonna look at this. This seems very stable as well. I do like there are some pawns on the dark squares and he has the light square bishop, but I don't see anything I don't see a plus for both sides.
No, I mean, very solid position. I think I'd prefer white somewhat here because it's always nice having the pawn breaks, and white has these two pawns in the center. And with ideas of pushing the f pawn, maybe the e pawn at the right moment. As you pointed out, Bick, the rook can swing across. So I think I'd prefer to be white here because he just has more potential in the position. And a lot of times, even if the position is equal, if you have the potential, like the pawn break, the attack, and your opponent doesn't necessarily have that, it's the side that has the plan which has the advantage. And black seems to be a bit planless here. I don't know what black can do here except for wait. Exactly. Okay, so he's tried this move, but this could backfire now because when e5 does come, white's going to get a very nice pass pawn on the e file. Exactly. So I would say white's better there, Big.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. So here's a question that I always tell my viewers this. I say you have to give your opponent the ability to blunder. So you have to give them like, make some moves that are double-edged and those kind of things. And I think that's in this situation as well. White has a lot of room, he has a lot of space, black is a little bit cramped up, and white just has a field day. It's easier to play. And how important is that in Blitz? How is Blitz different from classical chess?
I think mainly in Blitz, the most important thing is to have the initiative. I think this, and pressurize your opponent. Okay, I have to be honest, this position now, it should really be a draw. White has the much more active queen, but this is his advantage. But still, black is very solid here. But in Blitz, I think if you have the initiative, you can keep causing your opponent problems.
Yeah.
Then this is the most important thing. By the way, I just got subbed. By the way, someone gifted me a sub. Can you guess who it was, Big?
It's got to be a little feline troublemaker, isn't it?
It's a little feline troublemaker. So thank you, feline troublemaker Charlie, just showing off there by subbing me. And I think we may have Ruland in the chat as well.
Yeah, he's there as well. He'll join us shortly, maybe round 3 or round 4. It's gonna be blessed. Cool. Let's go through the other games as well. We have Aronian versus Anand. That's a very dangerous passed pawn we have over here. But he is down 3 pawns. So
wow,
is
interesting.
That enough?
Well, I guess it depends if the pawn queens or not. Opposite kind of bishops, we can see that straight away. So white has a bishop on the dark squares, and black has a bishop on the light squares. One of the funniest comments I heard about that, Bick, was ex-world champion Spassky.
Yeah.
And he just got divorced, and a journalist asked him about his divorce, and he explained it as we were just. I'll try to do a Russian accent. I'll probably fail. We were just like bishops on opposite colors.
Did he really say that?
So that's how he explained his ex-marriage, shall we say? Which I can think.
Pretty good.
So
pretty spot on, though.
It's probably a draw. This one, probably a draw. But black has got the material.
I like it. The accent, phenomenal. You got to keep.
No, the accent was bad.
That was good. I like it.
Oh, you like it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like these Russian accents. But you have to
roll
roll the R a little bit more.
Roll, yes.
Let's go to Dave versus Vidit. How they are doing. Wow, that's a very nice knight we have here on D4. I definitely like black here.
It's a very nice knight. It's quite a good bishop there as well on D5. But black does have the extra pawn as well. So Ding Liren must be favourite. Very dangerous player, Ding Liren. But Vidit might get off the mark here in his hometown. If you're right, that knight is fantastic.
An interesting point here. 2 of the people that drew against Carlsen were Hare Krishna and was Vidit during the rapid portion. So they are the 2 wildcards who are playing extremely well. So we should definitely watch out for them as it continues. Vidit is up a pawn, however. He has a very nice pawn structure here as well. He has always pawns on dark squares, so that makes the light square bishop very strong. But the queen and the rook, they just can't go in.
Yeah, it looks like it should be very good for Vidit. He's just played the super aggressive move F5 as well. Mm-hmm. So he's also trying to play in the center of the board here. But having that extra pawn, he's always got the potential he's going to just start pushing at the right moment, the C pawn, B5, C4, and that pawn will cause a lot of problems. So looking good for Vidit. Time situation, also Vidit is ahead. So yeah, you've got to be positive about his chances.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the final game we haven't watched yet. Hikaru Nakamura and Hare Krishna are battling it out, and there is some funky stuff going on in A7.
Wow, there is. Well, there's an immediate threat, as you've highlighted there, Bick, against H7, and that's a very good move from Hikaru. The queen swings over to stop queen takes H7 at least, and you kind of think here black has the extra pawn, and he has a lot of pressure, black, in the center of the board. Mm-hmm. So if he can now sort of extinguish this attack, which I think he's doing, then Hikaru should be doing well. And remember, Hikaru, if the scores which we'll bring up later on, he is in striking distance to still winning this.
Yeah,
and he's having a very good tournament, isn't he, Big, at the moment as well? Magnus is Magnus, but Hikaru's doing very well. So.
Magnus is Magnus, but Hikaru is Hikaru, and they always. I'm really looking forward to see when they will face off. It's going to be a delight to see as well. Bishop G6 is going to win back the pawn, but he's going to lose E5, and I just like black. He's up a full pawn. He has a lot of center control. I think, f7 falls afterwards, so he has to take with the knight, I would say. Knight c5 to defend the bishop from coming in. Who do you favor here?
I mean, black seems to be a lot better. Just when that bishop in the center of the board is a fantastic piece, and as you say, I think he can just win that pawn by capturing with the knight. But this move's very interesting because that pin that he has on the knight, if you can see the bishop pointing towards the knight, is what we can kind of call an internal pin. Because how does that knight ever get out of that pin? And the time situation is horrendous.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe just bishop f4, which he's played. And if that knight can get to h5 even, you can see that black knight maybe heading around.
Ooh, let's go.
And I think this is really bad for white. Probably losing. I think Hikaru's going to win this one with black.
Yeah, he cannot squeeze it out. I mean, it has to play something like this, d3, and then hide his rook over here to start defending this knight. It's definitely not something that you would like in this position. And as you stated, his knight's going to swing over. He's
played this move, so... Yeah, and just look at this pin. This pin still remains. This is the problem. And this is a really funny position, because even though it's opposite coloured bishops, you might be able to swap off rooks, because how does white ever get out of that pin? You can never get out. It's really weird. It's quite beautiful.
Wow.
You can't go h4 because the pawn takes. Yeah. So for the rest of the game, you're in that pin, and that knight just has to attack the black knight. Just has to attack the white knight, and there it is.
There it is.
Very nice game there. Really nice.
5. Very well played by Hikaru Nakamura.
Very impressive.
Swift win, and Hikaru.
This is round 2, by the way. Sorry, Vic.
Yes.
The beat maker, round 2 of 9 of the Blitz section today. That's what we are.
We have a draw between Anish Giri and Magnus Carlsen, who just do his workout game. And I'm going to look at this Aroni game while I update the scores. Is he going to put this push through? What do you think?
It looks like Anand might be winning this one, because the pawn, his A pawn, I don't know how. The only way white can stop that A pawn is by losing his bishop, and then the C pawn will drop as well. So actually, must have been very good in-game play by one of the home stars, Anand.
Yes.
I think black's going to win this one, Vic. I think.
I'm delighted to see that Wesley So and Ion Nepomniachtchi also drew, so we only have 2 games left. We're going to focus on this one for now. He's got to win this one, but how is he exactly going to do that?
I think just king b3 and a3, as simple as that.
Yeah.
Very, very easy. White can actually resign here. I think that's how bad it is. So.
He did. So he listened to your advice, and that's going to be a win for... Anand, and this is actually quite interesting because the top 4 will go to London of the GCT standings, the final standings.
Okay, yeah.
And number 1 is set in stone, which is Carlsen. Number 2 is set in stone, which is Ding Liren. And the 3rd and 4th place are actually being battled out by Levon Aronian and Anand. They probably both get 3rd and 4th place, but it will feel very good that Anand took that win away from Aronian and say that 3rd place, it's going to be mine. Yeah,
definitely. Big win, that one. Very big win.
Very big win.
I mean, who would you... I'd love to see Aronian get over there, and Anand as well. I mean, Anand's just... Yeah. Anand's an old legend, isn't he now, really? So can we call him that? He is.
But... not trying to be disrespectful, but he's absolute legend. Especially for... He's 47, I believe?
He's quite old for a chess player.
Yeah, exactly.
He keeps surprising, and which is great, because he's giving hope to... Everyone says it's a young man's game, and Anand is older than a lot of these guys, so it's great.
Anand is the type of player that always surprises me when I'm feeling like, no, he's not going to be that good anymore. And I go, oh yeah, he's actually pretty good. I always forget how good he is.
You know what? I'm the same, Vic. I mean, because all these young players coming through, which most of the hype is about, this new young player is coming to the top, this new Russian, this new Chinese player, then you kind of forget about the old legends like Anand, who's just such a great player. And I've made the mistake of writing him off qualifying for the World Championships and things before, and there he goes, and he just surprises everyone by beating all the young ones. Exactly. So you can never write off Anand. He's great player to have. Oh, I hope Black didn't lose on time there, because that's the only way he could mess this position up. Did he lose on time?
No, it's pretty tense. They're playing so fast that the relay board is having trouble keeping up. Yeah. So it's going to be like, when your frames are dropping and you only see like a slideshow. That's the kind of stuff we're going to have on the board at the moment.
Sure.
But they're definitely
Yeah.
I think he's making progress. I think that what's the general idea when you have these outside pawns over here?
Queen your pawns, I would say.
It's my God, dude.
That's, you know,
That's
pass
GM
pawns.
advice, ladies and gentlemen.
Pass pawns need to be pushed big. Just queen them. That's all. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, he did trade off the minor pieces, and this should be good. If the king was here, it might have been a little bit more trouble, a little bit more difficult. But now I think you could just start running, and it is over. We have Ding losing, unfortunately, and Vidit taking the win. The next games are in 14 minutes. I'm gonna show you the standings again in just a second. You guys are gonna have to give me a little bit of room to work here, which we're going to. Let's just change it over here. Exciting second round, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, very, very good second round there. Very good day for black. Well, round for black, should we say. You know, white considered to have the advantage, but we had 2 draws and 3 wins with the black pieces in that round, with Anand beating Erodian with black, Vidit beating Ding Liren with black, and then Hikaru winning with black as well. So, a very good round. Yeah, round 3. So, coming up.
That was round number 2. Let's look at the standings real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Magnus is just taking the cake, taking the icing. 16.5 points. Hikaru actually came back since Magnus drew and Hikaru won, so it's only a 4-point difference. That's going to be a very interesting game to see. We're going to go on to a quick break while I set everything up, and then we will be back with the Blitz section, round number 3. back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go to round number 3 of Rapid and Blitz, which is in 3 minutes. Simon and I were actually talking about streaming, since we're both streamers. Simon, where can they find you, actually?
Well, Ginger GM, really. I mean, I have my own Twitch channel, so twitch.tv/GingerGM. You can follow me there. Got a YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff as well, website. So if you just search Ginger GM, you'll find me online somewhere, and trying to stream as much as I can. So it was quite funny. I mean, I know we've got, by the way, I would like to say we've got a massive game this round, maybe the most important game of the whole of the 9 rounds, this round 3, which is coming up. And this is going to be Hikaru with the white pieces versus Magnus Carlsen. And so this is a big one. I mean, if Hikaru can pull off an upset here, then you never know. He's not that far away from Magnus. He's keeping in tow with him with that last win. So this is a really big game, Bick. Yeah.
If he wins this one, the deficit is only 3 points. That's we can work with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. So I always like to see a close tournament. So are we shouting for Hikaru? Are we supposed to be unbiased? I don't know how it works, Bick. I mean, I'm a Magnus Carlsen man, I have to say. So
same, but I do like Hikaru. He's streaming as well. He's very entertaining in that. So we're unbiased, but I wouldn't mind if Hikaru won, because I want to see tension in the game. I mean, I wouldn't mind as well if Carlsen won. Let's be fair. But I want to see blood. I want to see tables being flipped.
Yeah, so we'll definitely concentrate on this game, Bick, the one between Hikaru with white against Magnus Carlsen. I mean, historically, Magnus Carlsen has a very good score against Hikaru, really big score. But you could say that Magnus is one of Hikaru's bogeymen. I'm sure we got a lot of Hikaru people who support him in the chat. Is America still awake? I guess so. I guess they're still awake at the moment, So, and of course, as you mentioned, Hikaru does a lot of streaming, so he does great things to chess, as does Magnus. But this is a big game. Looking at the scores, there's not much between the two players, and it's first place versus second place. So, going to be great. Going to be a great game.
Yeah, exactly, Chess. We are unbiased, and we were talking during the break to each other. We were talking about, the fear of when you have OBS on, our streaming platform, and you're done streaming, but you forget to stop the recording, and you actually go on your merry way and still go to, browse the internet, buy some shoes and that kind of stuff. You had a funny story about that, Simon.
I did, once. I mean, I won't mention where it was and who it was with, but it was a big tournament. Let's say one of the biggest ones I was commentating at, and me and my co-host, we thought we were muted. So obviously when you go on a break, we mute ourselves. And I think we just had a guest on who we didn't get on too well with. And obviously when you're doing a professional show, you obviously, it's lovely having you on, all this. And then as soon as we went on the break, we thought we were breaking, but we weren't muted. So we started to say, that guest was such a bleep, bleep, bleep. And so, we never want that guest back on again. Oh, look, And then we suddenly realised we weren't muted. And it was like, oh, my God. And our faces, everyone heard us talking about this guy or woman. Anyway, we're on with the game. So
Were you invited back to that tournament to commentate, or you're banned for life?
I think I was invited back, but it happens. We all make mistakes.
It all happens. Won't be the first, it won't be the last time for each and everyone. That's quality content. You knew you were muted, and you were just, pleasing the crowd, and I appreciate that.
Everyone wants a bit of gossip, don't they? But that was just embarrassing, a bit unprofessional and embarrassing. Okay, so we have Hikaru with the white pieces and picking a solid setup, as Magnus has done as well. Magnus playing, this sort of triangle system without, trying to make it too complex, and both sides developing their pieces in a simple way here, I'd say, Bick.
Yeah, nothing too crazy going on. So what I've noticed about Carlsen during the tournament is what he does first is he gives the opponent the initiative. He always does that. He just lets the opponent play. He's going to play. He's played a number of times like h6 and a6 just to set up his knights well, take things easy. And he's going to give white the initiative, like in every single one of his games. And then he's going to strike at one point. I don't know why. I don't know how he does it, but it's been the entirety of the game. I think it's the same now.
I mean, one of the things I find most impressive about Magnus Carlsen, especially if you compare him to other world champions. I mean, let's compare him to maybe one of the other greatest world champions, Garry Kasparov. Garry Kasparov's openings were phenomenal. And from move one, Garry Kasparov tried to take the initiative and win the game as quickly as possible with very sharp lines. Black, he'd play the King's Indian defense. He'd go for it from the off-start. And we can see how great chess is, because Magnus is kind of the opposite. Magnus will play positions like this, which I don't really like for Black, I'll be honest, personally. You're lacking space. When you castle, you could have problems against h7. Yeah. But he will play these positions where he doesn't do anything, as you mentioned at the start, and he'll wait for his opportunity later on. And it does show you how many different ways you can play chess, and it also shows you that you don't need to force the issue. I think one mistake a lot of weaker players make is they try to force the issue when the position doesn't demand it. Mm-hmm. You can only really get involved with tactics when you have positional trumps, good development, good pieces. And a lot of beginners won't do that. They try to force, a checkmate situation, which just won't happen. Magnus is just, he doesn't force it. It just shows his confidence, where he still believes he can do well from playing maybe not the best openings even.
Yeah, exactly. He's just laying back. He's letting things happen. So this is not the most exciting game.
Would he castle queenside? That could be interesting.
Castle queenside. Now that's the fun that I would like to see. If he castle queenside here, it's he gets a very nice rook, absolutely. But I think white will go bishop e3 and rook here. But because these pawns are already pushed up, it's very easy to break through, unless on the king side. But if he castles king side, you could even. Let's say I'm going to make a silly move. If you castle kingside, you even have the idea of, this kind of stuff might happen. You don't want this. This is scary. So I think it's actually safer than castling short. What do you think?
It might be, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the one pawn break that Black has, and you've always got to think about your pawn breaks. When you play this setup with Black has to play like c5 at some moment. Without this pawn break, Black is going to be dodgy. And I think it was quite risky queenside. This might be better. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit surprised Hikaru's put his bishop on h4, because I'd like that bishop pointed against the pawn on h6. Some potential to sacrifice it there and start an attack. But he's just trying to cover the d8 square this way, playing a bit more positionally. Yeah. So he wants to rely on his space advantage in the center of the board. Probably put both his rooks on like e1 and d1, and then at the right moment maybe break. So he's put one rook behind his pawns there, and you can see that Black can't meet that rook because of the bishop on h4. So it's again very solid for Black, and like I say, the one pawn break Black often plays in these positions later on is this c5 move, because the bishop on b7 is bad, but it's quite hard to play that here. So
okay, I'm gonna interrupt you here. Sure. I bet you a sub that within the next 5 moves, Carlsen will play either g5 or f5.
Oh, I'll take that.
You're gonna take that?
He won't be playing those moves.
I'll give you a sub to your channel, and if he plays it in the next 5 moves, he'll get it.
Okay. This is move number
f5.
1. No way.
Yeah, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna break it. Yeah,
you lunatic big. This is not Carlsen. Carlsen doesn't do.
You haven't seen what the madness that he's brought on. Okay, it's a little bit unfortunate. He's already trading off. This is not that positional. Okay. But f5, I still feel it was before move 19. If on move 19 he plays it, I'm gold, or else you're gonna get it.
I'll tell you what. I'll make it move 20 just to be generous.
Generous. Okay, I appreciate it.
A nice round number. A nice round number. Like that. So Bick thinks he's going to... I don't think he'll go g5 now, Bick. You've got to rely on f5.
I got to go right on f5, yeah. That's a little bit unfortunate. Because I was like, this is actually not that bad, like an f5, you have to go back to c2. You could go g5, or you can even go e5 right here and start breaking through the center. You
could try to win a piece, g5 and f4 there, in that last position.
Ooh,
but I think
that's...
I'd just go bishop takes g5.
But, there's... you could go here, you could even take your check.
That's a big check.
That's a big one. So with the f-pawn. Wow. Okay.
Well, that's interesting, because that indicates Hikaru understands he wants to go for it. Very anti-positional move, that last one, because you should take towards the center of the board. Your pawns are worth more in the center of the board rather on the side of the board. Yeah. But the one tactical reason for doing this move, which is a little bit controversial, is to try to start an attack along the f-file. So maybe this is also playing into Carlsen's hands somewhat, because, if you get to an ending position now, Black has the better pawn structure, because White's pawns on the G and H file they're not very good. They're kind of like they're not doing much towards the center. So we're kind of now. This has made it much more interesting. Hikaru's got to attack, and Carlsen will be better, I think, positionally if Hikaru doesn't land an attack.
I mean, I'm not sure if it counts anymore. I mean, if you took with the H pawn, obviously F5 would have been a great move. But now, it's getting a little bit spicy and dicey, unfortunately. So I think we call it back. I think we could.
There's an amazing idea here of knight H5, knight G5. I'm just looking at, and then I know we can't move it. And then pawn takes and bishop H7 check. I think it's rubbish. But I was just thinking king takes H7, queen H5, and you have at least a draw here. But I think this is a load of rubbish. But it's just like these are the kind of ideas you'll be looking at with the open F5.
I would like it because what happens? A pawn goes to G5, and I said he would play G5. So it's
and you're going to claim the win.
I'm going to claim that win. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you can actually claim the win here. So I will pay out the sub if that happens. So, but I expect
through the other games real quick as well. And actually, I'm going to flash this one real quick.
Okay.
Of the Pomniachi against Vidit, who played a King's Indian defense, I believe, and things have gone quite spacious, I would say.
Yeah, it's quite an exciting position. Both kings are a little bit weak here. Black has this fantastic knight in the center of the board on D5. I expect it's kind of roughly even. I like this knight on D5. This is a fantastic knight. I mean, one good skill I would say for everyone here watching this who wants to improve at chess, which I think is a great way to get better, is if you get a chess magazine or something like that, flick to a random middle game position and get in the habit of trying to work out who is better and why. Because when you can assess positions quickly, that will help you in your own games because you'll know what kind of positions to head towards and what kind of positions to avoid. Now, I have to say this position, it's exchange sack has happened. Did I miss that before? I didn't realize that.
No, it's just the exchange was already a bit earlier.
So there you go. I talk about the importance of assessing positions, and I can't even count pieces.
Whoa! He played F4.
Did he just blunder?
He just played F4.
That's very risky. Allowing that square.
This gonna sound very, very rude, but this is typical Nepo. Because he's done this 4 times already during this tournament, unfortunate. He plays very fast, and in crucial situations, if it's someone in this tournament who would do that, it's unfortunately Nepo. And this looks very nasty.
It was very dangerous. I mean, this is what we were mentioning about both kings being exposed, but the problem with pushing your pawns in front of your own king, as Nepo has done with black here. Look at him. Nepo's done what Bick wants to do. Push all his pawns up the board, play like a nutter, bit of a caveman, and then your king is exposed because your pawns in front of your king are like your bodyguards. And in this situation, your bodyguards have just wandered off to the local pub, and they're not looking after you. So I feel that black's king is in trouble here. It should be knight G6, Bick, maybe queen takes A7. Okay, so he's gone for this one, but hang on a minute. It's now black's move. This is very risky. Knight E3.
Knight E3?
Boom!
What?
Oh, he's turning it around.
Is this mate? Well, if he takes... you have rook takes B2.
B2.
Yes.
And then there's going to be something on F2 coming in. That's unbelievable. What happened enough?
What? King F2 and we have a checkmate here.
Oh, even simpler. Oh, wow. Well, that is Blitz chess for you.
Queen takes. Yeah, this is mate.
This is just mate. This Queen is F1, rook F2.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can do it. There are so many ways. Nepo wins. Wow. Okay, I take every word back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Queen takes A7. That was a little bit too slow. Tempo is very important when both sides are attacking, and this allowed black this amazing counter-attack with Knight E3. So it looked like black was in trouble, but great counter-attack there. What about Hikaru Magnussen? Should we go back to...
So we had a win for Vidit. Did we see... F5! When was the plate?
Oh,
move 21!
Oh! I can't believe that. So F5 was played one move later than Big said.
Maggie. And G5 though. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and G5. You would have got double subs.
I would have done double. I got 2 subs. Got to get 2 subs.
Now, obviously Hikaru has a dangerous attack here. with the queen and the rook, but is it only going to be some kind of perpetual check, or can Hikaru win this one? So he can get a draw now by moving the queen backwards and forwards to check the black king. If you repeat the position 3 times, the position is a draw. But can Hikaru try to win this position anyway? And if he wants to win the tournament, he kind of really needs to go for a win. But I think this is going to end in a draw, probably a draw. Exciting game, though. Yeah.
Exactly. We have a few results coming in as well. We have Ding and Anish drawing. We have Levon and Wesley So drawing. And we just saw Nepo winning. So there are 2 games still ongoing.
This is a draw now. It has been decided a draw, this one. So exciting, perpetual. Yeah.
A little bit too slow there, Magnus. A little bit. I believed in him, but
yeah,
we didn't have to draw. And this seems.
Ruland, our friend, Grandmaster, mentioned that in the Nepo game, Nepo was probably losing had Vidit played that knight g6 move, which I must be true. There,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That looked very scary.
Yeah.
Wow. And there you have it, chat. I mean, it could just turn in the blink of an eye, and that's really exciting about these kind of games as well. I will shout out to all the people watching, 2,500 of you at the moment across the platforms. With Yobios, with G Brazel, with Bruya Web, we have of course Monkey Chess, we have Road to Canos. We have a lot of people enjoying us. If you have any questions, we will look at the chat if you want to know something. I won't know it, but Simon probably will. I always say Simon and I know everything.
We can try. We can pretend to know everything. So we will see. And well, okay. This clash looks like there's not much material, but there's not much time. And this is where it's really exciting in Blitz, isn't it, Big?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It should be a draw in classical, but in Blitz chess, anything can happen. Exactly. A blunder here, a blunder there. So I don't know.
You want to make another one?
I think it's a bit early to bet so much, Big.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna take the pawn on f5, which was the next move. So I had to be a little bit faster.
Yeah, a little bit faster with your. Okay, looks like a draw has been agreed here as well. I mean, there's not enough material on the board for either side to win. Rook and knight versus rook. No other material on the board is a very easy draw, which is the best one side could hope for. In this position. Exactly. So there's another round. It's quick and fast, Big, isn't it? Blitz section.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quick and fast stuff.
My ex always said quick and fast. Not always the best one. Ladies and gentlemen, we had 4 draws and 1 win by Nepomniachtchi. So he's inching his way closer to the midfield. We're going to have the pairings up soon. We're going to get a special guest. A good friend of mine and a very good friend of Simon as well, who've done a lot of videos about the Dutch and the landing rod. We can talk about that a little bit later. But after this, we will have a guest with us. And for now, we are going on a short break. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes for round number 4 of the Grand Chess Tour, Rabbit and Blitz. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined today by everything set up perfectly, amazing. If you can put your camera a little bit higher, like the thing, if that's a possibility.
Me?
Like
Okay.
so your face goes a little bit, yeah, like that. Oh, that's the beauty. Yeah, that's.
Hang on a minute,
that's-
I was enjoying looking at Roland's like.
No, you're
Okay,
going
a
to
little
see
bit
more
lower,
of my
little
face.
lower.
I'm not sure that you
Okay, a
want
little bit
that.
lower now.
I-
We're
I
gonna
thought
tweak
you
it
were
at
very
okay, it's fine, it's good.
Something like this?
Perfect.
so-
Yeah, no, I don't want to. It's a PG, it's a family stream, Simon. We can't see too much.
so-
of
Yeah,
it.
bit
you
early
don't want
and
to see my
stuff,
chest there.
Too much
so-
good. Okay, so we're
You
joined
guys
today
look so
by.
smart. Is this the Holland thing to dress up with a shirt when you stream?
Yeah,
make it all
yeah,
pro.
professionals.
I've got my pajamas on. See, I just actually did show.
Yeah,
I
you
do
did.
have my pajamas on. It's not actually a joke. I rolled out of bed with my pajamas on, and you guys have got shirts on. I'm doing something wrong here.
Well,
So,
joke's on you, Simon, because I'm not wearing any pants at all. Okay.
oh God! Thank goodness you had something on.
Exactly.
So,
That would have been something. So, Roland, how about a little bit introduction of yourself for those who don't know you
Yeah,
yet?
so I was here at the first day when we were commentating. So hello everybody, my name is Roland Pruisers. I'm a Dutch Grandmaster and a chess professional basically. So hi everyone, how is everybody doing in chat? And I see a lot of familiar faces like Charlie and Jay Brazel for example. So hi everyone.
Jay Brazel's great, isn't he? Jay, is on Twitter and always promoting chess. So hello,
Yeah.
and thank you for your support. So good man.
Thank you for your service. Now, honestly, there's a lot of people in here who are always here supporting the chess community in every way, and we do appreciate that so much. Netherlands has another grandmaster. Yeah, we keep rolling them in. Roland them in. No, that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Good one.
Good one. All right, nailed it. Today, I'm going to look at Nepomniachtchi against Geary because Nepomniachtchi plays fast and doesn't really. It seems like he doesn't really care about it. I'm going to show the standings real quick to you lots in just a second. Did I update the score sheet? I didn't, so I'm going to have to find out what everyone played. Okay, so here's a quiz. Here's a quiz, Simon, to see if you paid attention, because I didn't.
Oh dear. Okay.
Hikaru and Magnus, they drew, so I knew that.
Yeah, actually, before you just ask the question, it's still a bit early over here. I was just trying to work out which round we're in. So, in my mind,
We're
I was
round
like, is it
4
round
now.
3 or round 4?
It's round 4.
I thought it was round 4, but I tricked myself there. How many games have I commentated on already? Because we missed the first one, didn't we? That's
Yeah,
why.
we missed the first one. Where
Yeah.
where am I?
Okay. Yeah, where am I? What am I doing? Where am I? Okay, but I know. Yeah, all good.
We're good, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, you're
So it's round 4 of 9, just in case people are a little bit unsure. And
exactly.
it's 9 rounds today, and it's also the same again tomorrow. We're starting an hour earlier tomorrow, so that should be interesting. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So I think only a Nepo won, right? And the rest drew. Yeah, that was the one. We
Yeah.
have to update the scores. And if I don't update the scores, we're not going to see the standings. And I like the standings, ladies and gentlemen. Those are pretty good. Let's look at the standings real quick before the next round starts, which is in the next minutos. Let's pull this one over real quick so I can pull this one over your faces. Here we go. Here are the standings that we have at the moment. Carlsen is still a beast. In case you didn't know, he won once, he drew twice. He's still on top. 4 points difference with Hikaru. That's still the same. And it's actually Vidit at the bottom now with 7 points. And we're going to see if they are going to make a difference in today's games. Exciting stuff going on. And I'm joined by 2 lovely hosts. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky, chat. We're going to have an absolute blast here.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
Yep, so, and it looks like that was an important draw, wasn't it? Really, I mean, Hikaru kind of went for it in that last game, Hikaru versus Magnus, but Magnus was able to hold him off. So he's he's in a good position as we speak. So
Exactly. So who's happier with that result, Hikaru or Carlsen? Because Hikaru, is he just glad he didn't lose, or did he really need that win?
I think Carlsen. I think they'd both be happy, won't they? I mean, but tournament standing wise, I mean, Carlsen, as long as he doesn't lose too many, he'll win the tournament. So surely it's Carlsen. But,
Yeah, exactly.
I'd imagine.
he is.
So did you guys actually also talk about Anand? Because Anand has something to play for in this tournament, actually.
Well, that's a good point. The top 4 will go to London, and the top 4 at the moment is Carlsen, Ding, Anand, and Aronian. So I think they already passed Karayakin. They already passed MVL in points.
Well, I think that Anand has to end up 6 or higher to pass MVL actually. I think
MVL is third with 36.5 points, something like that, and he already played 5 events. And the number 4.
We talking about the candidates, or what?
We're talking about the
London.
The London. So the last,
okay.
the final 4.
Right.
And MVL is third, and Karyaking is 5th. But they already played 5 events, so they're not going to do this one. So I think they're both going to be passed by Levant Aronian and Anand. But we're going to see. We'll pick up those standings after this game. But now we have the game. I picked up Nepomniachtchi against Giri. I'm going to ask Roeland.
Yeah,
that's a very nice bishop there. Is Giri better?
It's quite lovely, yeah. But on the other hand, it's also kind of... I think a knight wants to be on d4, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the bishop is also kind of in the way at the moment, so... I don't know. I like the bishop there, but the knight on c6 is going to be pushed back, and I'm not sure that the bishop... Well, okay, the bishop is quite good there, yeah, simply, but...
It's okay. But you would say, like, maybe an a6, pull out, and then get the knight in. That's an idea. Or a5.
Yeah.
Same idea. Okay, well, there are so many games we have going on in so little time, so I'm just gonna scrounge through them, see which is the most interesting. Like this one. We have Ding Liren against Hikaru. Hikaru just drew. Obviously, we needed to have... He wanted to go for the win. I think he's gonna go for the win. Do you like his position here, Simon?
Looks reasonably dynamic. I guess it was some kind of Grunfeld. No, it wasn't, because G6 wasn't played, but it looks like it in English, another English maybe. And... I think that pawn on d4 is key, whether that's either a strength or a weakness. Hikaru's trying to hit it with his last move, putting pressure on that pawn. But if that pawn could maybe move forwards at some point, it could actually cramp black a little bit.
Absolutely.
So fairly unbalanced position, I'd say. So a lot to play for here.
Absolutely. Yeah, these are the kind of positions that Hikaru should have. Trying to make something out of nothing is one of his specialties. Carlsen on a dry spell. 2 draws in a row. Haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Let's see how he does in this opening. And again, a very passive approach. Incredibly passive with e6, d5. Probably c6 again. b6, get the bishop out. We see a lot of English in these openings. I really like that. Do you know a little bit about the history between Hare Krishna and Carlsen? Have they played a lot, Roeland?
No, I don't know a lot between them. I mean... Carlsen has always been in the top of the world standings, yeah, and Hare Krishna sometimes has an opportunity to play against the top players. For example, I think he was invited for Norway, a Norway event. But actually, I met with Hare Krishna at the ECC, the European Club Cup.
Yeah.
And he was just playing Blitz at after the games we usually just try to relax. And at one point he was basically at the bar, and I was really impressed with how he was playing chess. Basically, he's an amazing player, this Hare Krishna, and I don't know. I think he has potential to simply scoop into the top 10, basically.
Ooh,
There was one very interesting game. We're just talking about the European Club Cup with Hare Krishna, who seems to be playing quite a safe game here. A little bit of pressure on the queen side, but black is very solid. Black might be able to play c5 at some point and just liquidate. But there was an amazing game at the European Club Cup, Roland's, where Hare Krishna was playing my good friend David Howe. And this game, it was unbelievable. I mean, this was 2 top grandmasters playing. They're both, David Howe's about 2,700. And the game was the 3rd longest game of all time. And I believe the longest game between 2 grandmasters, it was 200 and something like 40 moves long. Yeah. 240 moves. I mean, did these guys not want to eat or something? But it was incredible. It was incredible, you know. So really strange.
It was ridiculous, to be honest. If you saw the game, then David was playing on in an ending which was totally drawn. You have to imagine like fixed pawns, no pawn breaks, no ways to ever break through, basically. And, well, okay, David did have some pawn breaks, but it was clear to everyone that it was going to be a draw. But David later in the interview said that he actually wanted he was playing for, initially he was playing for a win because his team might still make a draw then. But after that, he just figured, wait, I have a chance to play more than 200 moves.
Yeah.
And 200 move game. So
he wanted to get in the record books.
Yeah, I wanted to get a record. That's what he said.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So it was amazing, So, and apparently in that one as well, one of the arbiters started to get a bit annoyed. I think the arbiter who was looking over the game, David Howe, complained about him after the match because the arbiter was breathing down his neck and making all these funny noises. And when David said to the arbiter, "Do you mind standing a little bit further back?" the arbiter snapped at him. So it's quite strange. It sounds like the arbiter wanted to have his dinner, and David was holding him up, having his dinner, right, in that 200 move game. So true professional arbiter there.
Well, you can't talk back to the arbiter. You can't wear shorts anymore. I mean, it's getting very strict, the chess world these days.
Well, with my gear on today, I wouldn't be allowed at the chessboard. my pajamas on, I'd struggle.
But you are more than welcome here. Let's look at Anand versus Wesley, who are almost already done. That's a very nice fixed pawn on e5. I would give White a slight edge here. What do you think, Simon?
Well, if it's White's move, then
it is.
Even if it's not White's move, I agree. I mean, this looks like it might have been a Berlin or something like that, when one of the dangers is this pawn structure. Black's pawns on the queen side, you see he's got these 4 pawns, but because of the double pawns, that extra pawn on the queen side doesn't mean so much. And White has this lovely pawn, and it was White's move, so White's just grabbed the pawn there, and now with safe play, Black's only chance is to create some kind of counter-attack against White's king, but it shouldn't be working. And that last move White played very clever, e6. So White should be winning this one, I think, with careful play.
I'm not so sure, to be honest, Simon. I think that f4 is going to fall.
Yeah.
And then I think Black has got very good drawing chances. Although he could play the maneuver king h1 and then bishop g1 to avoid a draw. But I don't know. It looks very passive to me. Maybe White is better, at least.
You want to put some money on that? We're into the betting there.
We'll put a beer next. We'll put a beer next time we meet. Vic, we're trying to get everyone to gamble today.
I like it.
It's far too early for anyone.
Don't do it at home, kids. Don't do that at home.
I'll basically take any bet with you, Big.
Yeah. Keep talking, buddy. We got a little bit of a technical issue. I think Roland is lagging out of the video call in 5 seconds if he doesn't behave. We're getting there.
You got me worried there for a sec.
I got you there. I mean, what about chess?
Okay, this is a very clever move, this last move there. Anand's playing very well because Rula mentioned king h1 and bishop g1, but this is another way to do it. And it does seem that the king's quite safe on h1 there.
It is.
And this pawn on e6 is a real nuisance for Black in this kind of position.
I think Black's going to get that one. Queen d6, king f6. Looks like the pawn is going to be snagged. But White's going to get the a6 pawn in return. And that means that the a pawn might become, might go running, basically.
Starts running,
It still must be better for White, but maybe Black has chances to hold this one somehow.
No, I totally agree. White definitely has the better chances.
It's a lot of fun. We're going to go back to this one in a minute. We haven't watched Aroni versus Vidit, I believe. That's the last one that we have to see. Which is, what happened here? Does that belong there? What's going on?
I think it's White to move.
It is White to move.
So it's an extra exchange, I guess, for Vidit. But Black's king is a little bit weak here, so maybe, this position, I don't know. It's quite hard to assess, yeah? Like you have to take the bishop on f1 somehow. I don't know if you play rook takes rook, rook takes bishop, what you play here. He's played rook takes bishop, and White is material down, Aronian, but he has this idea like queen f5 or something pressurizing the king side.
Yeah, I like White, to be honest. But also look at the time. I think that Aronian is like 1 minute up or something.
Yeah.
So...
And it is, do you agree, Roland? In Blitz, it's about whoever has the initiative. And even though Black might, I think Black should be okay, but White has a bit of initiative here. It's a pity about the bishop on f2 and the rook on f1. These two pieces are very passive, aren't they? If you can get these in the game, then White is laughing. But I don't think you can, actually.
No, it's kind of hard, yeah. I mean, you want to play something like b4 and then bishop d4, but I don't think that works. But
Right.
no,
Still.
or yeah, I mean, the black rooks are totally dominating the D and E file. So yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah.
We have some news.
Okay.
Geary is getting beat up.
Wow. Okay.
By Nepo. It's well, I'm thinking my brain is going. This looks bad.
This looks very bad. I mean,
This looks extremely bad. Yeah.
yeah.
White's. Yeah, at least Geary's up on time and he's gonna make it that way. Oh,
yes, that's
not
right.
even there.
This Nepo guy, it strikes me
Yeah.
like he's like one of the most talented players around, I think, at the moment. I mean, I don't know, because he can either like crush anyone or sometimes make some silly mistakes, but he's a very dangerous player, isn't he, Nepo? I mean, he's clearly a great talent, I think.
Yeah.
Personally, you know, they all are, but this guy especially, I think, has something special about him.
I think Nepo is one of the. Isn't he the only one who has a positive score against Carlsen at the moment?
Quite possibly, yeah, quite possibly true. I don't know if that's changed during this tournament, but he does have a good score against Carlsen, certainly. Not many people do. Actually, do you know another person who has a positive score against Carlsen?
Is it you?
Oh no, you?
Oh, yeah.
They should invite you next time.
Yeah, this is you. Yours should be the wild card. This one is over. We're gonna listen to that statement in just a bit. Let's see if there are any interesting games going on as well. We have Hikaru versus Ding. Interesting endgame. I mean, he's just gonna take on G7. It's White's move, and it looks kind of drawish, actually.
Yeah, this is a draw definitely.
Okay, yeah, he just takes her on G7, and the king is cut off, so I like White's chances more or less, but I don't think he has any substantial leads that he can do anything with.
Slightly better for White, isn't it? Because the king's a little bit more active, but it should be a draw. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Exactly. Okay, so let's go. Let's move forward, backwards, and everything in between. We were talking about this one but I thought Anand versus Wesley would be interesting because this is a one endgame for White. Is it?
Yes. This must be one for White. Yeah. Generally, when you're a pawn up in a king and pawn ending, it's like the simplest ending to be winning. When you're a pawn up, you have these little rules. So if it's just king and pawns and you're one pawn up, it should be a win. And then if you have a pair of knights on the board, I think that's meant to be the next easiest win when you're a pawn up. But this position definitely a win, I think.
Okay, yeah, this should be. I think he already resigned. Haven't seen it just yet, but yeah, you can't even pick up this pawn, everyone, because if you pick it up, this pawn will run. You can't even do anything, so you're just stuck in your corner trying to defend, and it's not going to work out yet. Everyone already has results. This is the last game while I update the scores. Is he going to grind this out to a win, Roland? What do you think?
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. What?
Is he going to grind this out to a win, Carlsen?
Yeah, this looks like it. Especially in Blitz, these type of endings are very hard to hold. And with the rook on e3, f3, it looks like I think Black's winning here, maybe objectively even.
Yeah, the problem here is White's king it is extremely bad. You probably want your king guarding your pawns, so if you can move that White king g2 around the white pawns, it's a draw. But the white king is cut off. It can't come across. That black rook on e4 doing a fantastic job of x-raying the white king, stopping it coming across. So this should be a win. He's got the h pawn, which White somehow needs to stop. So
I don't think he can actually. This is going to be a win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it was a very exciting game actually. I think right through the middle. I mean. Yeah, but Carlsen is currently being a beast. Yeah, he's destroying everyone basically.
So what's gonna happen is he's gonna push this pawn and then he's gonna build the bridge like this. Or this is a little bit more interesting. Why did he give up a pawn? Oh no, never mind. They put the kings on the. I think they put the kings in the middle of the board.
I think White's resigned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think White resigned. I was like.
Yeah. If the White king here was on like f1 and it was on the other side of the rook, then. Probably a draw, but the white, it's just the white king can't come across to help the defense. So it's a very nice bridge that black rook has done, so it's a win. Yeah.
So I'm going to do something a little bit odd. I'm going to copy the score sheet so you guys can see the scores from another tab. It's going to look a little bit weird for a second, but that's fine. And I'm going to see if this actually works. We're going to have to make it a little bit smaller. Do you guys think this is too small? Take it out, get it out of my sight, or would you appreciate just a little reminder of what the scores are? We can do that because I don't have enough room, unfortunately, for both.
Oh. Hey,
it's cute.
yeah.
It's cute. I think it's cute.
That's nice. I like it. Yeah,
Nice.
nice to see.
It's perfect.
You're a tech wizard.
Look at that,
Rick.
man.
Yeah,
Should get
look
a
at this.
raise. Should get
You're
a raise.
obviously a wizard.
No,
Wouter Big the Wizard.
absolutely.
Wouter the Wizard.
And this was a very nice round. I mean, Carlsen is just so good at endgames. I think it's always been his best strength. He's like great at everything, but especially these endgames are just phenomenal. He always wins these kind of situations where I'm like, this is a draw. This is easy for both players. Is that his biggest strength? Would you agree, Simon?
Yeah, I mean he's good at everything. Which he's shown. People always said his openings were even a bit dodgy, but he's just great. He's great at everything. Let's not get that wrong. But probably the best endgame player ever. I mean, I don't think people can name someone else who could even be in his league.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the best endgame player ever. And that's pure talent, really, to do that. I would say, yeah, definitely, brilliant endgame player.
All right, let's look at the scores and how the round looks like now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pop that open for a second. Let's go to here. Let's open the standings over here, and here we have them. Carlsen's still in the lead. Because Carlsen won and Hikaru drew, he's now up 4.5 points. Hikaru is in clear second place. It's not over yet. They play a lot of Blitz, so anything can happen. Obviously, Carlsen is in a there's a very big deficit. And Nepomniachtchi, who lost the first 2 games in Rapid, which are double the points, is now 4th. He's actually tied for 3rd.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
impressive.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know the Blitz live ratings? I have them open, actually. And who do you think is number 1 at the live ratings for Blitz?
I thought it was MVO, but probably not.
That's the Rapid section, actually.
That's the Rapid section.
Right,
Okay.
but in Blitz, number 1 is Nakamura by a long shot, by far. And second is actually Nepomniachtchi.
Oh.
The live ratings for Blitz.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlsen is closely behind on place 4, but I mean, still, it shows that Napalm is a really great Blitz player, you know?
I just thought Carlsen was number 1 at everything. shows you how much I keep up with the scores, you know. I mean, how can he not be? He wins everything.
Yeah, we'll go
He's
with
world
that.
champion. Why is he not number 1? I don't understand.
Well, yeah, it's a new rating list, yeah. So maybe Carlsen still has to work for it, and maybe that's why he's so motivated to win the Blitz section, also.
Yeah,
Definitely,
He wants to beat
definitely.
the top in everything. Top dog as well. But yeah, Hikaru is just on another level when it comes to Blitz.
Chess saying that Hikaru has been number 1 for months, and we all know how strong Hikaru is at Blitz. He's certainly one of the best Blitz players in the world. But I've always thought that when him and Carlsen, even at Blitz, the stories that they've played before, late in the evening, and Carlsen's always done better against him at Blitz, that Carlsen is a better Blitz player than Nakamura. I don't know what everyone thinks about that. Maybe online, maybe not, because Hikaru loves using a mouse, but over the board, I mean, I would put my money on Carlsen. What you guys? I don't know if you'd agree. Or
I'll
would you
always
go
put my
Naka?
money on Carlsen. I think he's the best at everything. Just purely stated.
Me too, but I don't know. Hikaru has something with Blitz. I mean, he's so fast. I mean, when you see him streaming, I mean, and he shows the lines that he's thinking of. He's so fast, so quick with calculation and with tricks, with tactics. He sees every tactic basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, Carlsen, of course. I think, for example, when he plays Banter Blitz on Chess.24. His score was like 115 against 120 or something when he's playing viewers or something, and that includes also 2600 players who are popping up in the Banter Blitz section. I don't know. Both. My money would be on Carlsen as well, but Hikaru definitely is a contender, I think.
Absolutely.
They're both pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're pretty solid. They're better than me. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I mean, I've played, I suppose, Hikaru more at Blitz. I played him live, and I lost some money to him. And I played him online. And I think I played 18 games, and I managed to win on time in one of them somehow. So
Wow.
but he was he's just phenomenal Blitz player. But Carlson, I mean, they're just another level. Different gravy, they say in England.
All right, chat. Who do you guys think? Is Carlson better? Is Hikaru better? Who's better in Blitz? Let us know. We're going to go on a short break, just 5 minutes. You can go outside, get a drink, put your pajamas on. If you don't have them already, follow Simon's lead over there. And we will be back with round number 5, the Grand Chess Tour Blitz and Rapid in India. See you guys in a bit. are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is round number 5 of the Grand Chess Tour Rapid and Blitz. We're going to focus our attention on Nakamura and Ian Nepomniachtchi because they always, duke it out. They battle. It's always a lot of fun to watch. Now, in the intermediate, is that how you call it? The break? What's a fancy word for it? I don't know.
Oh. Yep. Intermission.
Intermission. Thank you. During the intermission, we were talking about crypt chess. And Simon actually has a very interesting story about, people get a little bit of some drink on, have a little bit of fun. What happened over there, Simon?
Well, if you just tuned in very quickly before we get the moves in here, I held an event for my sort of chess company, Ginger Gem, over the weekend, which was in a crypt. It was a bit of like chess tournament, bit of a party. About 80 people turned up, and it was actually in a crypt below a church. Which you can hire out, and the tournament started about midday and it went on quite late, so you can imagine some people maybe drunk too much, and it got a bit rowdy at times, let's just say that. I mean, I think one guy lost a game of chess and he got up and he got the chair and he threw it at his opponent. It's just like, what the hell? What are you doing, man? I mean, I don't know if anyone's had that at home. You lose a game and your opponent throws a chair at you. So there was chair throwing going on, and Jobius in the chat was actually there. Jobius came over from Holland and witnessed the event, so he can probably tell you a bit more about it in the chat. It was interesting, fancy dress as well. So I'll try to get some pictures up, on my Facebook page at some point. But we have a Trompovsky, guys. Whoa. Hey, look at this. Trompovsky, it looks like, no? With Hikaru. Oh. So, good stuff.
Hikaru mixing it up, yeah? With the Trompovsky.
Yeah, and actually, Nepo picking one of the sharpest lines, which is e6, where black gains the bishop pair, but white has this very nice central structure. So this is known to be a very sharp line. I mean, I've always quite liked white in these kind of positions, but it depends what you want. And normally white doesn't go g3 and bishop g2, though. This is quite a safe way of playing the position. One thing, though, that black has to watch out for is the advance of white's f-pawn later on.
Oh, which white's f-pawn. I was saying that...
Oh, black's maybe, yeah, as well. You're going to say, yeah. Well, we like pushing the f-pawn, don't we, Roland? So, yeah.
We do, don't we, Simon?
We do indeed, yeah. Quite funny. Roland is like one of the world's leading experts, if not the world's leading expert on the Leningrad Dutch. And I would say I'm the same about the classical Dutch. And you guys are both from Holland, so there's definitely a Dutch connection going on here. So
we got something going. We got something in common. We all like F5. I don't like it here though, but it's this is a strange move. So please explain this to me. In this position, he pushes e5. Mm-hmm. Which just absolutely opens up his bishop as well as Nepomniachtchi's. When do you decide to push these pawns? Why doesn't he just play queen c2, rook d1?
I can say one thing. Magnus Carlsen would never have played e5 there. I mean, Magnus Carlsen's a very patient player. I mean, I'm sure Magnus would have played a4, h4, something else rather than... It seems a bit rushed to me. But, I mean, the idea is to try to get pressure on the e-file, so it's not stupid.
That was not a bad move.
Didn't white play e5 to stop black from playing e5? Because maybe that would be the positional threat there.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe just to try to do it, yeah. I mean, the pawn structure now, you could say even favours black, though, because black has more pawns in the centre of the board. I mean, they're not doing anything and they're tied down. But potentially it could later on be a little factor. Position to me seems fairly even, I think now. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah, it's fairly even. So we're gonna jump over to some other games to look at how the tournament leader is doing against Ding Liren, the number 1 and 2 in the overall standings. This looks very enticing, but he played bishop b2 instead. Why not a3, Roland?
Wait, just let me get to the bishop b2 instead of bishop a3. Well, if he plays bishop a3, black's going to play c5, and the bishop is immediately boxed in. And c5 is actually what black played in that position with the bishop on b2. So the bishop is better placed on b2 simply than on a3. But I'm guessing Carlsen might start thinking about f4 moves actually at some point. And then the f6 pawn could be a potential weakness. I like white slightly better here than black's position, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And especially the light. Well, the light square domination will be from black side, I would say. His bishop will be fairly strong. But white has the same thing, so it's not really that difficult. I'm going to jump over to Geary. The Dutch legend against Aronian. A lot of stuff is going to be trade-off. Is it going to be a quick draw? What do you think, Simon?
It looks a bit complicated at the moment. I don't know if I could just quickly assess. Yeah, draw. Yeah, easy. Yeah, big. It's just a draw, mate. I don't know. It's a complex position, this one. I mean, I think black has to take that knight on e6. White takes the bishop. It's equal on pawns. Black has a much worse pawn structure, I would say. His pawn on b4 is a little bit extended. The pawn, which is on the same line as the queen, is quite backwards as well. So pawn structure-wise, white's doing well, but black has quite nice central control with a queen coming into the center of the board. So black's pieces are better, but white's pawn structure is better. Is probably a quick assessment of this kind of position. Knight to f3 would have to be played here, and I mean maybe fairly even, but there's a lot of play in this position at the moment. So
yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see the line that the Dutch pointed out: queen d5, knight f3. He defends the bishop twice, even. That's always a good start. And then we'll see how that will continue. Let's see the other two games. I always want to see all the games, and then we're going to focus on one. We have Wesley So against Harry Kirschner. This seems.
I can. You know what? I can say this one.
Okay, you can say this one. Okay, I'll give it to you. I'll prepare it for you.
Yeah, go on.
What do you think, Simon? Is this going to be a draw?
Well, very interesting. Yes, yeah, draw. Yeah,
draw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit draw position. I would give white a slight edge because maybe if he gets something on the 7th rank, he'd be in the favor. But this,
what do you think, Ruben? Do you think it's a draw, or do you think someone's got some chances here?
I feel a bet coming here, guys. I mean, Big is saying white's going to win, and
no, hold on! Don't put those words in my mouth. I'm already down a sub. Not going to be down two. No, I think this is
actually Vidit's game is heating up.
We haven't seen it yet against Anand. The
This
Indians
is more
against each other. Wow, this is more like it. Well, Roland, give us a little bit of an analysis. What do you have over here?
Yeah, so I think White's definitely is better here. He's got the initiative. He's probably going to win a pawn at some point, I would say. I mean, the black's bishop on c8 is permanently stuck, basically, and it's very hard for black to entangle himself there. So usually I would say a pawn on f5 is always good, but in this case the bishop would have wanted to go to f5 on c8. So yeah. I think that white is putting the pressure. Like Vidit is number 3 of India, I think, behind Hare Krishna and Anand. So he's putting some pressure on India's number 1, I would say, in this position.
Yeah. And I think
even the move f3 there, Bick, is a very standard way to
try to get
through.
Yeah. So this way. That would open up his bishop, and that's what I was trying to avoid. So if I trade this off, I feel like it would. But if he takes, we'll get this position, which isn't that half bad as well. I always like putting my bishop on c4. Seems like a very natural idea, but especially f3 is also an idea.
Good plan as well, yeah.
Because then you have this. Oh, he plays f4. Okay. Well, I think white is better here.
I think white's going to win that pawn, and white's going to be pushing here, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Interesting games. We've seen all 5 games now. Is there one that you guys think deserves our attention? I see a king going in the middle of the board in Carlsen's game, and I see a lot of pressure by black in Hikaru's game. So you guys can get to choose.
For me, it's Napalm against Nakamura because I think Napalm is definitely putting the pressure on Nakamura's position, and I'm actually wondering if black might already be winning here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's make some moves. Let's think about it. He just splits queen a1. He needs to. I don't know what he's gonna do. Queen e3.
Yeah, queen e3, and now. You have got lots of ideas, but the b3 pawn is very weak, so I would play queen b1.
Queen b1,
and
very interesting idea.
Then knight c3, well then he has knight d2, so that doesn't work. But I don't know. I think black is very close,
Yeah.
but he needs some sort of winning idea here. G5, I like it. Then G4 and trying to get the D4 pawn there.
Yes. I'm gonna keep her going. Yeah, and now you have to do something. Yeah, what do you do? H3? You can't push
H3.
this because then you will lose this with check.
Queen C3. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. This looks very close to winning for black. But...
What do you think, Simon? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a couple of problems which Ruland's pointed out. I mean, the activity of the pieces in these kind of positions is very important. White's pieces are merely defending, and all of black's pieces are kind of aggressively placed. The bishop attacking the pawn, the queen on A1, the knight. And if black at some point can win the pawn on B3, his pawn on B4 will win the game. So it seems like it's very good for black. White has to kind of sit here and wait. And I don't think there's many ways white can get activity here. Maybe he can go C5, try to get a pass pawn, but that could just be lost as well if he does that. So, yeah, I agree, Ruland. This is really, really bad for Hikaru. So this could be a very important win. I mean, Nepo's on a bit of a roll now.
Yeah,
and if he beats Hikaru, Hikaru's in second place. Is that right? So this is a big win if he can convert it.
Someone in chat just said, always feels good to stop Naka from castling with two hands. I think that was against Nepomniachtchi Archie when he used two hands.
Used two hands, yeah.
And
I mean,
it was a bit
it's
of an
funny.
outrage.
There's been a bit of controversy about castling, hasn't there? Because Wesley So, who was he playing? He was playing Nepo, and Nepo got in trouble for castling by touching his rook first in 960. Was that right? I think there's.
Yeah, I heard that story as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have thought these guys, the best players in the world, would know how to castle by now. I mean, come on. It's one of the basic rules of chess.
Well, I mean, that's why you have a plus score against Magnus. I mean, because you have that castling under control.
Oh, hey. Oh, something technically worked for me right now, but never mind. Anyway, I think that 960 castling is a bit different, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the castling there is slightly, It
is a bit weird. Yeah, I mean, I think touching the rook first in 960 is okay because in some positions, it's such a weird. I don't know what the rule is, but it seems it's rather pedantic. Silly things which are nothing to do with the actual game that these guys sometimes argue about.
Yeah.
Now, is this position so clear now? Because white seems to have created. Black has pushed on the king side, but has black maybe weakened his king side position with some knight G3 move coming in at some stage? I don't know. I don't know if this is so clear now.
Well, knight G3 here looks devastating, actually.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't take the knight because queen G5 checkmate.
Or queen G5 checkmate.
Yeah.
King G6 then, knight takes E4, queen takes E3, F takes E3, F takes E4.
So yeah, that doesn't work.
I think, the D5 pawn is pretty weak, so maybe it's still okay, but then knight D2. Okay, I'm just calculating stuff. I think
That's fine.
I think now white's okay. Yeah, after knight G3. I think black misplayed somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, knight G3, and now the critical line here would be knight takes E4, and then you have to take on E3, and white takes back, and you get this ending with knight D2, and probably it's. I mean, white's pawns are all on light squares, so I don't think white should be worse than that ending. I think white is now okay. Yeah.
Maybe he's even better because, how do you defend the D6 pawn? Bishop E5, I guess. But no, okay, it should be a draw.
Should be a draw. He's just going to plan this knight here on C6.
Yeah. So, Carlsen Ding. We need to go to Carlsen Ding. I think Carlsen's going to get crushed.
Whoa!
Ooh, wow. Oh, he is getting crushed. What happened there?
Over.
He looked like he had a nice position.
Look at move 22. 22. That was important.
That's the winner chicken. Wow, Carlsen lost. He hasn't lost the entirety of this tournament yet.
Jesus.
He played F4.
So Carlsen went a bit gung-ho here.
Yeah.
He went a bit nuts there.
Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I think he's, he had some fun.
Well, maybe not so much fun the way it ended up.
Not anymore.
Oh my god.
Well, he took G5, and now suddenly all these lines opened. All these files opened.
It was interesting because just a second ago I said, "Oh, Carlsen's a very patient player. You'd never see him doing something, like this E5 move that Hikaru plays." And then he does this sacrifice, which is it looks a little bit suspect, and he really didn't need to play that.
Yeah,
I mean, was that overconfidence maybe?
Maybe he was just bored.
He's
Maybe
like,
he's just
I want,
bored.
I want to get some excitement going. I mean,
Yeah,
winning this tournament like so easy. Let's
Yeah.
try and mix
bring
things
it
up.
back.
Yeah?
Let's bring it back.
Maybe he's doing like a Morpheus. Like, I need to give these guys a little bit of extra material
Yeah,
just to level up the playing field. So
This is,
I
he's
would have
playing
it
the
say-
material arts challenge.
Material
what
odds,
do you say?
yeah, but
So
I
we
mean,
have a
that's-
few results coming in. This is the last game ongoing while I update the scores real quick.
Yeah. So Geary also won against Aronian.
Yes.
Looks like a very. I'm just checking what happened there. Looks like White simply went for the mate and Black couldn't stop it. Ooh.
So this
Look
is
at
quite
this one.
interesting. Isn't it? Yeah, this should be. But the time situation, Vidit's got to win this with seconds on his clock.
Yeah.
I kind of think this should be winning because the Black King's in such a bad position, but Black has a
think-
lot of checks with a rook, yeah, Roland, so I'm not sure.
I think it's a draw, to be honest, because the White cannot make progress. I think.
Yeah. The problem is, I guess if you ever swap rooks off here,
Yeah.
Black might just be able to go King H8, King G8, and the
Yeah,
stalemate
it's a
tricks.
stalemate.
Oh, that's a
actually
good
pretty funny.
point. Yeah. Yeah.
And White would love to swap rooks off, but I don't think he can. So maybe he has to try to play E4, but then Black can just swap. So yeah, you're right. It's probably just a draw. And the thing here is, I'm sure the computer would say this is winning for White, and this is one of those positions where it doesn't actually have the have the it doesn't understand about the stalemate things and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
the drawing ideas. So potentially.
Oh.
No, that seems
Also,
like a
the
draw.
new computers like Leela, are they the same?
No idea. I mean, would it say that White's winning here? I expect most computers would, yeah, but I don't know. But he's trying to make progress here. So can you just swap the rooks off here? Is that just a
Yeah.
draw? It
I
is,
think it's
yeah.
a
So
draw.
this is it. And now you just keep moving your king backwards and
Yeah,
forwards. It's a draw.
this is a draw. Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks like an easy draw.
It's pretty entertaining draw actually.
So
Wow.
if the pawns were like one lane to the left, like on the E, F, and G square, then it probably would be winning. But because it's an F, G, and H pawns, then it's probably just a draw.
Yeah. Whenever White's only got two ways to win this. Well, one way he's got to play F5. You just take on F5. There's nothing can be done. So it's a
Yeah.
draw. Yeah. Easy draw. Yeah. Okay. But he's gone F5.
So,
It's gonna go for it. Yeah, this is play till the end. Don't time out, buddy.
Maybe we're going to see a stalemate. Should we see? Are we going to see a stalemate? This,
Yes.
I see a lot. What do you guys reckon? This? There's a lot of this is stalemate here, so it's happened. But
Yeah.
there's been a bit of talk. I think Nigel Short mentioned this, but some other guys have agreed that stalemate should be changed from a draw to a win. So the person who stalemates
Oh.
their opponent should actually be a win. People have discussed this, that it's actually a silly rule, and that stalemate, when you're the person stalemating your opponent, it's actually just as good as checkmate.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure.
well,
I disagree.
no, I also disagree because that would make, for example, queen against rook endings way easier.
Yep.
Or against, such a lot of endings would then be simply winning, and
Yeah.
that would, how do you say, that would take away a lot of the fun out of those endings, basically.
It would do. I mean, it'd give a lot more decisive results, though. So I suppose that was the argument that chess
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
There's too
Yeah.
many draws in chess, so a lot of these endings, like king and pawn versus king, always a win, no matter what position. But you do lose a lot of beauty, like the opposition and stuff like this. But you get more wins. So
Chess would be a lot easier then, I think. I mean,
yeah,
endings and yeah.
yes.
I mean,
But then you would win with like a bishop with the wrong square bishop because you could just
Yeah.
stalemate your opponent.
Another
Then.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. But then how do you say? I don't know. Well, it's interesting. It's an interesting idea, but I my first feeling would be that it would be a mistake for chess.
I think so.
Okay,
Like this-
boomer. Okay, we heard you. No, don't change the rules. Chat, what do you think? Should we have this rule implemented or not? We're going to see. I'm gonna switch to the standings real quick so we can see what happened and what's gonna happen next. These are the standings we have at the moment. We have Carlsen in the lead with a total of 18 points. He got 3 points in Blitz now, 15 in Rapid. He's still 4 above Nakamura. And what do we see? Anish actually made the jump to third place because of the win today. He has 2.5 points. So we're actually Carlsen losing.
So,
You don't see that a lot.
I mean, the one interesting, I guess, one of the really interesting things here, as Ruland mentioned, is Anand, yeah?
Yeah.
Because if Anand comes in the top 6, he qualifies for this big event in London. So this is important.
Let me show you the standings we have right now. So
Sure.
these are the tour standings at the moment. So Magnus and Ding, they're going for it. That's no question. You know, they got this.
Yeah.
MVL's in third place. He hasn't played anymore, so Levon, Aronian, and Anand are going to overtake him. Now Levon is like close and nearly there. I mean, he overtook MVL. He's there. So it's all about Anand if he's going to make the jump to third place, or is MVL going to take his stand there? And that's why Anand needs to win a lot. It's important for him to make a lot of points to get to that fourth place. That's what we're looking at.
Because if Anand is going to get sixth place, then he wins 5 points, I think. And with that, he overtakes MVL as the number 4 spot behind Levon Aronian.
Exactly. So sixth place for Anand, and Levon is wouldn't he take the spot over MVL? Because Aronian is going to go over MVL. That's the problem.
Yeah,
you do that. So it's all about if Anand is going to overtake MVL. That's the point we're looking at right now. So sixth place.
It seems like MVL gets a hard deal all the time. Yeah, I mean, he never gets a wild card to these candidates, and now he's going to get pushed out of this, and it's like, poor guy, man, just give him a break, you know. I mean,
he has a tough year, yeah.
He's had a tough year, and he's a great player.
He's an excellent, absolutely.
I mean, he kind of deserves to be in the candidates, but he always just misses out. And I think, the problem is here, he probably deserves the candidate spot, and this is the big one. Everyone wants this shot of the candidates to become world champion. Yeah. He wants that shot, but he's probably going to get pushed out because it's held in Russia. So the Russians are going to want to have Grishchuk there, and Grishchuk's a great player, kind of deserves to be there as well. But again, MVL is going to lose out. I would see this happening.
I think Grishchuk already qualified, though.
He already qualified. Okay, well, let's just hope MVL gets his wild card or gets it.
Definitely.
He totally deserves it, Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anyone else who deserved it more at this point.
Definitely.
Well, you deserve it as well, Willem.
So besides Simon, of course, because he has a positive score against Carlsen.
Yeah,
that's true.
When he was like yay high and probably 8 years old or something. So,
but
it's funny. I'll tell you the funny thing is, I think I beat Carlsen. I don't know how old he was. Let's say 13 or 14, something like that. He was about 25, 80, but he's got this app. I played him when he was the same age, and I couldn't beat him at the same age in this bloody app. So I beat him in real life at that age, but I couldn't beat him on the app at that age. And I was like, oh my god, I've got so much worse.
So the next round is starting in 9 minutes. I don't think we really need a break. Let's do one more. Roland, would you be good for going up for one more round? Would it be fun?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, I need to keep you guys in check, so I'll stay, I'll stay one more round, and then...
You're the boss now, you're the boss. Let's go over the pairings. We have Harry Krishna versus Ding Liren. We have the Pomniachi versus Carlsen, which is going to be... I just like the Pomniachi playing at this moment, because he's just, being a beast. Magnus losing last round, so he might, might not feel... This is the first loss in this tournament, so he might feel a little bit weird. Aronian versus Hikaru Nakamura, also a very good matchup. And we have Anand versus Giri. Anand obviously trying to get 6th place to get those points, very important. And Wesley So versus Vidit. So a lot of good games to look at, a lot of good games to have. And we have... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Chessbay was just asking about I don't know if you still have it, but what went wrong with Carlsen in that game. We had a very quick look at it. He just played this. Yeah. I don't know if you have it there.
I have to.
Because it's his only loss. It might be worth mentioning. It's just this F4 move, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's F4 that went in. So
this move here.
Well, I think the move that he missed was actually 27 F3. I mean that counters the whole.
Yeah.
The whole idea. I mean, if he would have gotten the F pawn for black, then I think he would have very nice compensation for the exchange. But because of the F3 move, I think after F3 it's basically crushing. So
he should have played something like Rook F1 here to stop this. Because this is well defended. The knight is very well placed. I really don't hate that. And if you play F3 right now, it's not that strong because I can take with the Rook instead of the pawn. We don't have that problem. Even F3, I don't think he should have... Hold on. Let's go one back. He played. What did he play here again? Oh, he played Queen takes G5 here. That just opened up everything. I think that's the problem.
But this F3 move, as Ruben mentioned, is a really good move. It's worth putting that on the board. So, like Queen takes G5, and this F3 move is really nice move from Ding. Actually, you know what? Ding does really well against Carlsen, doesn't he? He won this playoff against Carlsen as well. He'd be a very good world champion. I think Carlsen may even struggle against Ding. I mean, not struggle, but this would be. I don't know who I'd bet on if Ding played Carlsen for the world championships. Probably Carlsen, but.
Has there ever been a Chinese world champion? Has there ever been an Asian world champion in chess?
Well, Anand.
Anand, yeah. Okay, but Chinese, not yet, right?
No, not yet Chinese. No. So but we have two Chinese in the candidates. Yeah, Wang Hao qualified.
Wang Hao and Ding Liren.
And also, who's was the second one again? Ding, of course. Yeah.
And of course, we've had women world champion from China already, so just not in the men's. So.
That is true.
Yeah, and also they won the Olympiad, China.
Yeah, very strong.
So they've won. They just haven't won the men's title at the moment. Which
usually it's dominated by the Russians, but they have to take respect for China. They're playing very well in those things. So here's what I've heard, and you guys can either confirm this or deny this. Usually, when you're at the federation, if you win the prize money, let's say you're sponsored by the KNSB, Roland. And you win prize money, it's your prize money, right?
Wait, could you repeat that?
So if you win a tournament, like chess, and you win prize money, it's your prize money, right?
Yeah, it's my prize money.
So I've heard, either debunked this or not, in China they get sponsored, so the hotels get paid, they just get a salary, but the winnings that they earn have to go back to the one who arranges those stuff. Is that true? Have you heard that or?
I don't know, to be honest, because, I'm not a top chess player. I mean, I'm a grandmaster, but I'm not in the top of the world, basically. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I've never had sponsorships or anything like that. So, but I can imagine, because it's a communistic country. So, and I do believe that I've heard stories about how Chinese things go, basically, but I couldn't say anything about sponsorship and prize money because I simply don't know.
Because I heard that they just have a salary. Is that true, Simon?
Well, I've heard something very similar. Chess Bay saying it's maybe not true, but what I've heard is this. I think certainly occurred, maybe not now, but let's say 5 years ago, that if the top Chinese players, if they won prize money tournament, they'd have to give a percentage of that back to the Chinese government or the Chess Federation of China, no matter where it is, World Championships, anywhere, they have to give a percentage of that back. And I also heard this maybe caused some problems with a couple of the Chinese players. They wanted to get away from this, and obviously it's a bit harder to do that in China than America, for example, to argue with the Chinese government.
Well, let's not get into politics. But I was very surprised. If you guys knew this, if it's untrue, it's untrue. Like, I don't know. This is just the prize money is their own. Bain knows everything better than mine.
Chess Bay is actually saying that Wang Hao and Ding actually said that's not true. So I don't know. I'm just repeating what I've heard. It could be totally untrue, but they've actually said it's not true.
Well,
so
that's easy.
We'd probably take their word for it.
Okay, so we're starting in 3 minutes. I have a question for you, gentlemen. Have you ever played someone over the board where you thought he was cheating, but you could never prove it? Simon, you go first. Have you ever had that one cheeky little fella?
Well, there was one game which is I had a very important game, and I was going to qualify for something in it, and my opponent was getting up all the time, even when it was his move. He was getting up and disappearing, and I thought this is just a bit weird, and it did come through my head, and I got into the habit when he got up, I'd follow him. Yeah. So just to see what he's doing. So that happened once, but I think this is really you have to be very careful because the paranoia of cheating in chess is becoming as bad as the actual cheating. Yeah. And you can't just go around, throwing out accusations that could ruin people's careers. You have to be very careful about making accusations, and it's a very weird topic nowadays. So I did once is the answer, but only briefly. And I try to put it out of my mind for other games.
What about you, Roland?
I won that game, so it was okay. So, if I'd have lost, I'd have probably gone up to him and said, "You blooming cheat."
Yeah.
But I didn't.
The chairs
so it was okay.
would have flown through the area.
Exactly.
Chairs would have gone flying. Yeah. So, yeah. What about you, Roland? Have you had that or?
Well, I never had someone that I really suspected of cheating. Well, of course, you can get really paranoia about those things. So actually, a few weeks ago, I was playing in the Hogeveen chess tournament and the open tournament, because there are also matches between Firouzja, for example, and Jorge Kori, something like that. But there was also an open section, and I was playing in the last round for fourth place. Well, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it was actually a girl who had 2000 rating, and he was beating IMs with 2450 and 2480 and such. And people were suspecting her of cheating because of that, basically. So opponents and players were thinking like, wow, this girl, she's so good, or is she just, like cheating? Mm-hmm. But then we talked to the organizer, and they had anti-cheating measures. And so one player who played against her was like saying, well, this is suspicious, isn't it? And then the organizer just said like, dude, you're just playing really bad. I mean, could you?
Just suck.
She's not cheating. Shut
well,
up.
You have to be very careful, Roland, because again, it's like, I mean, not you. I mean, just in general, accusing people of cheating. This actually happened to Anna Rudolph before she became a commentator. Yeah. She's a very talented player. She played in a tournament, a team competition, and she managed to beat some IMs, like through her good quality of play. No way has she ever cheated. And her opponents started to say she must be cheating because she's having good results. And they even accused her of having a computer and a lipstick. Lipstick. They said that she's got a device and a lipstick. And all these men who are losing they're all ganging up on her. And this has also happened in the female European Championships. There was very nasty accusations there going about. It's pretty horrible. You have to be very careful about
that as well.
So I got one story from until we could jump into Nepomniachtchi versus Carlsen, who's playing. Roland and I were playing in Dieren Open, and in the C group there was like a 1400, and he was winning everything. He was literally winning everything. So the tournament organizers went to him in round 4, and they said, "Yo, can we search you because we think you're cheating?" And he said, "No, you can't." And then they couldn't do it. I mean, that's like one of weird rule or something, and so they just keep an eye on him. So what they did is they actually ordered a metal detector. They ordered a metal detector. So in round 8, they just pulled him out again. And they walked to him and they said, so can we search you? He said, no, we cannot. Okay, well, I'm going to use this metal detector on you. So empty out your pockets and we're going to see if it works. So he emptied out his pockets and then they showed the metal detector. And he was like, okay, you got me. Then he went inside his trousers. He made like a special pocket for his phone. And that's where they found all the games and also games from tournaments beforehand. Like he already won 2 or 3 tournaments before. So it's... Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that in the future FIDE need to think about more and more. But I think you just have to be very careful accusing people as well, without proof, because it can ruin people's lives and it's very nasty, be accused of cheating without proof. It's just very careful. Anyway, in this position, going back to this, like Magnus playing the Scandinavian, John Bartholomew will be loving this, but. Nepo has played one of the sharpest lines against this variation, and he's just got knight e5, which is a very peculiar pawn sacrifice. No, do you know the idea of this? If Magnus simply captures the pawn, what's White's idea here? Is it just to go f4 and try to blast things open?
Yeah, he's going to play f4, f5, and just try to win.
To kill.
This
going in. I like it.
Playing the Scandinavian. I mean, we've been waiting for that for years. Because Carlsen is Norwegian.
Yeah, I mean, if this is, you're right. I was a bit slow there.
Yeah, me too. I'm,
I mean, is f5 winning? I mean, if f5 is winning, then Magnus is in a lot of trouble because you can't let that knight get to e5. But...
I'm not too sure because after e takes f5, if you play g takes f5, you're going to get bishop h5 on. And after bishop c5, trying to put pressure on the e7 bishop, then black has knight e4 ideas.
Correct. Yeah. You're trying to.
It probably looks very dangerous, at least.
Looks very dangerous.
Knight e4.
Can you castle? Not really.
Well, bishop c5 is trying to stop this castling move, so it's very logical. Because if you can stop black castling here, black's in a world of pain. But I feel like black can survive this with, like you say, knight e4, or maybe even king f8.
Can you just take this one off? I'm going to make a solo move.
Knight e4.
Sorry?
Knight e4 rather than e5, I think.
Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a little bit better. Yeah, knight e4 seems a little bit.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Or as Ruland said, king f8 is also. So they've done this. Okay, so they have this.
So queen c7.
Carson's kind of calling the bluff here. This is like, does white have a good move? Because if white has a good move here, it's very dangerous. But if not, Magnus, is very interesting.
Exactly. I think Magnus is just saying, you know what? You set me up. I see a pawn, I grab it, and now you're gonna have to prove it. But like you said, during Blitz, I'd rather have white here. He has all the initiative and he has the easy moves.
Okay, so he didn't go for f5. He prepared f5 there.
Yeah.
So
I don't like rook hf1, to be honest, because you don't threaten anything with f5.
It's a bit slow.
I don't know what he's doing here.
I'd rather have him here, actually.
I see. If you do short castle,
with
black, f5, e takes f5, bishop f4, doesn't that win a piece?
Oh, very nice.
I
think that's the idea, basically.
Very nice.
Look at them.
So he's basically trying to stop Magnussen castling. If he can stop Magnussen castling, I like white's position because you've got these natural attacking moves. So that's the rook f1's kind of crafty little move, yeah.
It's really
crafty. B5.
Oh, let's go. This is what I want.
Getting exciting. This is a really, really great game, yeah.
I'm actually starting to think that Carlsen is really bored, actually, because he's playing like he's giving his opponents all these advantages. What?
But now you can go queen b7. So can you just castle here? Because you got queen b7 in that last line.
Maybe. Yeah.
Not well. If you go here, then bishop h5.
My bad.
If you go bishop f4, you have the b7 square. So you're not losing a piece. But even here, you've got lots of open lines against your king. I don't know what's. Respect black is doing well here, but it's just messy.
I think maybe rook hf1 was a bit too slow. Yeah, maybe he did have to play f5 there actually.
Well, we're going to see. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Do you think Carlsen's bored? I like that. He's making it too easy. So he's got to give himself some difficulties by playing things like the Scandinavian. He's like, I know this opening's a bit dodgy. Are we going to see the Dutch defense next, Roland?
Oh, I hope so.
Or a drop. What about a bomb cloud? What do you think a bomb cloud will happen for?
You talking about your local coffee shop or
no? You know the bomb cloud, right?
I know the bomb clouds. Yeah.
I was hoping maybe something like that would be, but look at these pawn pushes. It's So
h4 exactly. Yeah.
It's still very messy, this position. Yeah, incredibly messy.
You have to play h5 here just to stop.
Yeah. Well, then f5 comes because you haven't got bishop h5 anymore.
No, that's true. But you can go back to h7 now. I'm not sure how,
the thing with these kind of positions, the extra pawn, I don't think should matter too much. Not at my level, but maybe at Carlsen's level it does. He's that level above. He's that much better. But again, I'd like to have the initiative in these positions. I still think white might have that here. So who knows? Yeah.
It's very complicated. I think black's going to play bishop e4. Yeah, he did.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice move.
So now no weaknesses still on the king side for black. So I'm thinking that black's okay here. But Napo is Napo, yeah. So you never know, basically.
You never know what's going to happen.
Bishop b4. Very nice move, yeah.
Bishop b4, good move. Okay, we're going to scroll for the other games real quick. We're going to come back to this later. We have Aronian versus Hikaru. Also a very entertaining and exciting game, it appears. Aronian obviously still playing for a lot, as well as Anand. Anand will go back later. Roland.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm checking the games on my other monitors.
I like white here. I'm not gonna lie. I think white has the open file here on the d file, and I don't think he'll trade bishops. Would you trade bishops here, Simon?
I don't think you need to just yet. I suppose the important thing about these positions is the d5 square and the d4 square. This is generally what you've got to think of. If white has a possibility of getting a piece to d5, and black can't kick that piece away, but black can't get a piece of d4 because of the pawn on c3. But, black has got b5 coming himself. I would say white has a small advantage here because of those central squares, but just a small edge.
Yeah, okay. not too much going on.
No.
We'll keep a look at this game. We'll go back to it real fast. Roland, I want your high-quality commentary on Hare Krishna versus Ding Liren.
My high quality. Okay.
Only the highest quality.
Not putting any pressure
No
there.
pressure,
Okay.
no pressure.
Let's see. Well, Black's definitely pushing. I mean, if you look at the pawn structures, then Black definitely has the better pawn structure, and also the more active pieces with the rooks on c4 and a5.
Mm-hmm.
But it might still be within margin. Although rook takes c3, what happens after bishop d2 then? Bishop
A little cheeky
c5.
check.
So the king goes, and probably Black's going to play d4 or b4.
Well,
But
yes,
I
to get
don't
the
know.
rook up first. Oh, this is it is pinned. This is a good one. What's he gonna do, Simon?
Well, it depends. I think the only place you can put the king, if you want to try to keep the exchange, you can't put it on f1. You can't put it on g2 because of rook c2. You can't put it on h2 if you want to keep this pinning idea. You have to put it on h1. Is the only way to try to keep winning material. Then is there some problems with that move? I mean, you can always go d4, as Roland pointed out. I think White has to go king h1 is the only way to play it.
Yeah.
But is there anything here? Well, rook takes h3, king g2, knight f4, yeah? This could just be mate.
But he plays king g2. What?
Well, king g2, this might just be losing, and if king g2, rook c2, probably just winning for Black, I think.
Wow, I really saw that.
I
with the
think he
mate.
blundered with king g2 there.
You think?
Did he have any choice though in that position?
Okay,
Well,
let's go. Let's say you
As
go
you
king
pointed
h1.
out, king h1, yeah. So.
And
Yeah,
take
rook
on
takes
f3.
f3.
What
Yeah,
do you do?
This is the problem.
If you take my rook, you're gonna get
Oh,
mated.
that's genius!
Yeah.
Oh, rook takes a3, knight f4. Oh man, that's cool. Did you show that on the Wouter?
Yeah, I showed it.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
Well, actually,
Okay.
Simon told me, and I showed it. That was that's the agreement that we have.
Beautiful.
This is now just winning for Black, isn't it? Because White must have missed this, I guess, guys. Yeah, this tactic, and is.
So here's a question: would you trade up this bishop for this knight just so you can take a2, or wouldn't you just care about this and keep it as it is? And what Ding does, just move this rook around.
Yeah.
Second or
I would keep the position as it is and just put pressure on the f3 pawn as Black's doing at the moment. So the knight's very passive on c1.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt you.
Oh, boom!
It's already over. Between
Wow,
the
we missed it.
Miyachi.
We missed. What happened here, man? We have to show this
I
one.
have to show this. Don't worry, chat.
Oh.
Don't worry,
My-
lads. We got this.
My God! So it was actually having the initiative was more important than having a good position, maybe.
He played g5. The knight went to d5. Seems very easy. Bishop e5, bishop f5. So the pawns kept. He took on f4. He took
Wow,
on
he's
g5. This looks
Yeah.
incredible for Black. Black won, by the way. And
What?
yeah, Nepo
Oh,
just.
Black one.
Yeah, Nepo
Oh, I
just
thought
won it.
White won. That's why I was
No.
getting excited.
Yeah,
So,
on my
okay.
board it says white one. Yeah. But it changed to black one. Oh wow.
Yeah, okay.
So
If you look at the
it's
final
opposite,
position,
yeah?
then we're gonna see right here.
Okay,
he
so-
took on g7. We see a pawn push. He took on c3, and well, he got the queen off. And right here, he gave up and said, "Well, I'm not gonna do it anymore." So when we left off, he just blundered, and it went by very fast. Unfortunate, but exciting.
Yeah, so Carlsen just defended brilliantly in that game. Yeah, really. I mean, he was under a little bit of pressure, and he just took all of Nepo's pawns and called his bluff. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
the thing.
it said 0-1 on the other. Oh, it was reported wrong. Okay, I just saw the position. I was like, oh, Carlsen won, but I didn't look at the result. Okay, phew. I thought I was wrong at that point. We have a draw between Geary and Fishy. That didn't happen too much. We have a draw between Wesley So and Vidit. So the only going on is Aronian and Hare Krishna. I'm going to go back to Aronian Nakamura game. Roland, is this a win for Black? Is he going to... He has the pressure.
It's difficult. Knight b1 is a very good move because then the a3 pawn will fall, and with that most of Black's initiative. So I don't know. Maybe White's already better here. I mean, he's going to be a pawn up, I think.
Yeah,
I
Aronian
don't
has... But look at the
I
time.
don't see any tactic.
Look at the
so-
time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna play into it just by pointing it out, yeah. Ding won. Okay, Ding just won. Let's show it real quick. The end position. Oh, it's a mate. Oh! Yes, checkmate! Checkmate on the board.
Oh, nice.
Oh, one more move and it would have happened. Okay, Ding with a win. And then we have this. Well, 5 seconds. This is really hard to defend with 5 seconds, Simon. So it seems like I can't hear him at the moment. Oh, it's because the Skype call is being a little bit cheeky. I can't hear him right now. Can you hear us, Simon, by the way? I think you can. So I think the Skype session that I have is getting a little bit low. Hold on, chat. Let me just pull the Skype up. Yeah, there's been a disconnect with me and the Skype call. That's going to be fine. I'm going to end it. I'm going to rejoin.
Oh, Skype. Messing things up.
I'm going to rejoin. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. If anything, we'll make it happen. Now you're going to have my amazing commentary, and I think that Black is going to win. Aroni is holding at the moment, but with only 2 seconds left. The pawns are getting gold up. He already has 2 pawns up. These pawns are going to run through.
Can't hit big, so...
Yo, what's up, man?
Are we back, are we?
Yeah, we are back. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Skype there, but let me share my screen again.
Brilliant, cheers.
So you can see what is going on. Alright, we're good again? We're good again. Okay, sorry about that, chat. Nakamura won. Absolute legend.
I thought that after knight b1, white was okay, but it turns out that he had knight b6. And then things were still quite difficult, yeah?
On which move?
Yeah.
Well, we were checking on move, what was it? 45, I think, or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Knight b1 here.
Yeah, so knight b1, I was thinking... But, yeah, as you said, Simon, Black had too much pressure, simply, so... Too much weaknesses in White's camp, and in Blitz, too difficult to protect everything. So.
Like Bertrand says, it's just a typical Naka swindle. I wouldn't say that. I think he just outplayed him at the end. It's not even a swindle. He just played really well. Incredible. Let's go to the standings real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We have the scores added up, and we're going to have a little bit of a gander to see what we have going on right now. These are the standings with Magnus Carlsen 4 points ahead of Hikaru. Hikaru did win as well, so he's right back there, 4 points as well. The other one of 4 points is Nepomniachtchi, but he's going to be stuck. He could have gone for 5 points, but he's been stopped. The train has been stopped. We have a lot of draws. Anand has to be placed number 6 to at least to go to the next round. So it's going to be a lot for him. It's going to be a very important few games. And Aronian, actually, I think it's going to be enough, but Aronian also needs to work for it. What do you think? Is Aronian going to go to the next round?
Well, he's having a terrible tournament, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
But he's only scored 1 point today in the Blitz. I mean, I keep losing track how many rounds we've had. I think we've had 5 already. Is that right? It's easy.
Yeah, we're going to go to round 6 now.
Okay, so it's 9 rounds, and round 6 coming up. But Aronian's only got 1 out of 5. I mean, it's very bad scoring for him. Yeah, very bad. So
but Aronian already qualified. Actually, if you look at the standings for the GCT, Aronian actually only needs 1 point to surpass MVL. So, for that, he can basically, even 10th place is good enough for Aronian to surpass MVL. So Aronian's safe for the finals in London.
Oh, so he doesn't care that much anymore. It's all about Anand and getting at least the 10th place.
Yeah, and Hikaru, as you say, is having a great tournament. Magnus having a great tournament, not so much of a surprise, but Hikaru's had a bit of a bad year or so, and I think it's quite an interesting question. Because now you're doing a bit more streaming, Roland, yourself. Hikaru has become a streamer, and he's got a great subscribership base. He's doing a lot of streams. He's doing a lot of Blitz chess. He does it regularly. But when he started doing it, his ranking did drop his world ranking. He went down a lot. I mean, this is a Blitz tournament. He's amazing at Blitz, but when we're talking more about classical chess, and he dropped to lows. And I think in an interview he mentioned maybe there was a correlation between these two things. Do you think that streaming and playing, I mean, I would say that they are two different skills, and it can make you worse at classical chess, potentially. I mean, do you think that's affected his chess?
I can. Well, for me, it's the opposite, actually. Ever since I started streaming, my rating has gone up, and at this moment, I have an all-time high rating. So.
Well, it couldn't get any lower with your end, so,
What's your rating now,
let's compare that, Roland.
Yeah. What's your rating, Roland, now?
2560.
What's that, mate?
Man,
Very
look
good.
at that, man.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
2700.
But it could, of course, be different. It's different for everyone. Maybe Hikaru got distracted with the streaming from his classical chess, basically. So maybe he's not working chess as much as he should as a world-class player. But of course, I can't really tell because I'm not at their level yet. So.
Well, Bay is making a good point here that he did win US Champs. He got second in Isle of Man. He just had a few bad tournaments, which happened already before he started streaming. Yeah, I think the only correlation between chess is having a kid or a new girlfriend. That's when you really get the elo drop, as we saw with Anish at the start. But he's bouncing.
Can you relate, Big? Do you have
no news. Nothing here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to say our goodbyes to Roland. He's been an excellent addition to this team. So make sure to follow him on twitch.tv/monkey_chess. Don't ask me why you picked monkey chess. Well, why did you pick monkey chess, actually?
Why? Well, okay, the story is I live in a town called Apeldoorn. And in the Netherlands, aap means ape. And we have, Apeldoorn is very known for its monkey zoo here, basically. We have... we have the best attraction park in the Netherlands. I think it was voted for as the best attraction park in the Netherlands. So, that's why I chose monkey chess, because it correlates to that basically.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man, for being here. It was an absolute pleasure. Tomorrow he might be back. We're going to see if I can trick him in. Send him some sweets. Send him some lovely messages. Get the things going. We're gonna go on a quick break and we'll be back with the Grand Chess Tour Rapid and Blitz round number 7. Which round do we get?
Is that Simon, right?
Are you asking me which round are we at?
Yeah. See if you pay attention.
We're round. Did you say 7?
7, exactly. We're gonna go back.
Okay.
Round
I think I got different times here. I'm getting confused. But round 7 of 9 coming back. Okay. And can I say a massive thank you to Roland, because we haven't streamed together. And it's lovely to have that. So yeah,
exactly.
Well, thank you for having me, guys, and it was lovely. So
for sure, thank you, Jeff, for being so nice.
Good luck with the last 3 rounds.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some. Maybe we'll get a match between Roland and Simon one day, and I'll see to it. We'll see a little bit. If his rating is rising, we're gonna see if we can make it up. No promises.
Bring it on.
Thank you, guys. See you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is round number 7 of the Grand Chess Tour. Roland has departed us, unfortunately. He was a very nice addition to the team. I really enjoyed it. He's a good man, isn't he? You made a lot of DVDs with him.
Absolutely lovely guy. I really like Roland. Strong chess player, lovely person, and some chess players, not all of them, have quite big egos, but Roland doesn't. He's just really down to earth. So so go and check out his Twitch stream as well. He does it regularly, and he's a good guy to follow. So we're straight in the action, aren't we, Big? Now
straight in the action, exactly. I'm gonna show the standings first, real quick, because people have been asking for it, and I don't have an easy way to show them. Because I only have a limited amount of screens to show stuff. Yeah. We have Magnus Carlsen in first, clear first with 19 points. Hikaru is on the chase, 15. So those two you have to keep an eye on. The other person we need to keep an eye on is Vishwanathan Anand. He needs to be at least 6th place for him in order to reach the final 4. So exciting stuff that we have ongoing at this particular moment. Good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, and now one game which is already, they're all cracking on, is the person who's joint leading the Blitz, Magnus Carlsen, against Lev Aronian. And Aronian having really tough time so far in this Blitz event. But he's now got the difficult challenge of black against Magnus Carlsen. So it will be interesting to see how he fares here.
I have a difficult challenge of...
There seems to be a little bit of a delay. It doesn't end us over, but I'm sure it'll come back. Hopefully,
come back at some point. So. So we can talk a little bit about the position that we have at the moment. Let me ping a few people while we had over here. So Anand, he's always was he there last year? Because you're always at the London Chess.com, Simon. Will you be a commentator there? What's your role? Because it's so close.
Normally I play in London. Last year I qualified for the British knockout tournament there, and I actually got knocked out by Mickey Adams, but I was winning against him in the first game. So I've got quite, I say funny story, but I have an Anand story if you want to hear it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have the games at the moment.
Funny, but it was, I don't know, I probably can say it, but I was playing in the tournament one year. I think this is 3 years ago. And I really need to use the toilet, for a bit of a longer visit, shall we say, during the game. And the toilets were all booked, so I went into where the main players play, and I walked into their toilet. I needed to go, but I forgot to lock the door. So the door came open. There's only one pupil, and Anand came walking in, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I was like. He was very. Let's just leave it there, shall we? That's the only.
He was very surprised.
He was surprised.
He was, Simon.
Hey, Simon, what are you doing sitting on the toilet?
Exactly.
So, anyway, that's my Anand story from the Classic. So, enough of that. But it's a great event, the London Chess Classic. If you are living in England or Europe and you can get there, it's a very, very good tournament to go and check out. It's a lot of fun. The event's brilliant, and they got some good pubs nearby where they have some good social events happening as well. So it's a great one to watch. But yeah.
Yeah, do you often see the players in the pubs? Because I know at Wijk aan Zee you sometimes see a player in a pub, having a ball, having a laugh.
You do, yeah. Obviously some of them, the top guys, not so much, but Fabiano popped in, I think, one time, Aronian. It depends how they're getting on. Obviously, after the last round, the tournament's over, they're a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
But a lot of the chess players, it's a good community place to meet where people can analyse and have some food and even have a drink if they want to, So it's a great tournament. People are saying the toilet is my favourite place to meet people. That wasn't my way of trying to set this up. It was just very inappropriate, shall we say. So, but Anand is just known to be one of the nicest guys in chess. He's so friendly and a great ambassador for chess.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'd be good, and he's one of the older guys as well. So it's nice to see one of the older guys still doing so well. Okay, so in the chat, who do we have? We have shows. So I'm sitting. Yeah. That's why I was a bit suspect about telling that story. But okay, too late now. I'm always getting myself in these situations. We're just updating the boards now. So we're going to get that up.
Appears we're having a little bit of a connection issue to the server. I'm going to log out and try something else.
And I'll just tell more toilet stories.
I want to hear more toilet stories, like all the all the good stuff.
Yeah, well, we got Aldo in the chat. Big hello to Aldo, who helped run this event. I
Hey,
did
what's
at the
up, Aldo?
weekend. The Crypt event was great. Someone says they have a toilet story about Rouses, which we won't go there. We've been talking quite a lot today about cheating in chess in big events and the paranoia of are you playing a cheat or not. I mean, now it's getting a lot better at FIDE events. There's random sort of testing. But I think they have to be a bit careful about going too overboard. I remember one thing, you couldn't even bring your own pen in one tournament because they're worried there'd be some things going on with the pen. And one thing I would like to say is, like, in the past, there's been accusations made without any evidence of people cheating. And my thoughts about this is, if you're going to publicly accuse someone of cheating without any evidence, there should be very strict penalties for the accusers, as you know, it can ruin people's reputation. You know, you should always go through the arbiter if you have any suspicions at all, and not make it public with these accusations. But we're coming up, round 7 going on. There's 3 more rounds left today, and then there's another day of Blitz tomorrow. And we're actually starting an hour earlier, so 7:30 Blitz starting for me, which is going to be interesting. 7:30 in the morning. Wow.
Yeah, we have to go up really a bit earlier than usual, but it's always good to get something going in that way. Yeah, for some reason, other people can access live chess. I cannot. Is live chess good for you? Is it just me?
I'm just checking. I can actually see the live chess at the moment, so it's weird how you can't. I know they brought in this new way to log in today.
The 2FA, but that's not a problem. I'm in there.
So
okay, this is we're gonna go for Plan B. We probably have to open chess events. We can go chess events, or you will share your screen. Simon, you think you can do that? Share your screen, and then I'll make it work that way. Is it something you're willing to try?
Yeah, of course. I can do that. So I can just adjust things.
We're gonna work it on the fly.
We'll work this out. So unfortunately, some connection problems. We'll get this working. So okay,
absolutely.
I'll share my screen, and you can readjust that. How does that work?
The problem never comes alone.
So I guess, have you stopped? Okay, if you stop sharing me, and I will share now.
Stop
okay,
sharing.
Ready? I'm going to share my screen with you, Big.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Make me proud.
Let's see.
There we go.
Works.
Yes, that's the money.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to place that over here. Ooh. We have the nice green and white boards. Okay, if you can keep it like that, that's going to be fine. We're gonna work this on the fly chat. Don't worry.
Okay,
right,
interesting.
Okay,
I can't see anything that's going on now, but this is cool. Let me just.
I made a snapshot instead of going full screen. You're welcome. I send you a nice snapshot there, buddy.
Okay, I think I've got Twitch on another screen now. We're gonna make it work.
Yeah, Can you go back to live chess? Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
That's probably better.
Here we go. This is what you guys want to see.
This is it, and we're looking now at this game, and it looks like Rook A7 just played. It looks fairly even in this encounter at the moment. I'm just getting a little bit of lag at my end, but both sides are going to have the same amount of material. Maybe Magnus has a slightly better passed pawn. He has his passed A pawn, but I think Black is going to be active enough. And with the last move, I think Aronian's idea is to maybe double on the second rank. So put a rook down here and a rook here, getting pressure against F2, and maybe trying to get your rook behind the passed pawn. So this is the best thing to do. If you can ever get your rook behind your opponent's passed pawn in an ending, you're doing well. So that could be one idea, but you have to do it quickly because the A pawn is coming.
He's a runner, absolutely.
It's a runner. So how dangerous is that A pawn? It feels like the only person who can lose this position is probably Aronian with that A pawn, but it should be okay. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so we'll see this A pawn. So I'm going to try to get the other games up as well if we can.
Are they ongoing?
Let's have a look. Well, we have Dean.
There's already 2 draws.
There's already 2 draws. So Hikaru has drawn with Anand, which is
it's a quickie.
A decent result for Anand, I think, who needs to get 6th place.
Absolutely.
Vidit, who I'm just bringing up now as well, has drawn with his countryman.